Hello and welcome to the Janaea Netball Centre. Tonight we kick off the third season of the Premier League. I'm Brittany Carter and thrilled to be back here for another year with Bar TV. This season we are now offering you 6 live streams every week, 3 under-20s games and 3 opens games so you can follow along better. On Court 1 tonight, the GWS Fury come up against the Panthers, and this will be available on the New South Wales Netball Twitter and the Premier League site. On Court 2, the Manly Warringah Sapphires play North Shore United. This is available on Bar TV Sports and on the Premier League site as well. But coming up on this stream, a great battle between the under-20s Eastwood Ridehawks and Sutherland Stingrays. Firstly though, I want to say a very warm welcome to our expert tonight. It's our first time on Premier League. Swiss defender Kate Eddy, hello.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
Yeah, thrilled to have you here tonight, especially for the Opens game. I think you'll know a lot of those players, some of them playing Super Netball.
This should be exciting.
So we've already kicked off here, and I'm just going to run quickly through the teams. For the Erna Hawks, Jenny Webster, the coach, has selected Rihanna Stokes in shooter. Sophie Dwyer pairs with her in goal attack. Luana Orca-Falau is in wing attack. Chelsea Lockray is in centre. Taylor Walker, wing defence. And in the defensive circle, Hayley Mason in goal defence and Olivia Coleman in goalkeeper. You can see the Hawks already getting us underway. First goal on the board. For the Sutherland Stingrays, coach Vicky Kerr has Laura Davenport, the captain, at goal shooter. Ricky McRae is with her in goal attack. Courtney Jones, the vice captain, is in wing attack. Genevieve Maxted in centre. Alex Bolton in wing defence. Madison Boyle in goal defence, and Tegan Holland rounds out the team in goalkeeper. Sophie Dwyer in front.
Nice shot.
What are you thinking?
Very beautiful shot. Very accurate.
Stuck in the mid-court. Olga Falau giving her an option. Pushing into the shooting third now.
Beautiful.
So the Erna Hawks are doing really well early here. 3-0 they lead.
Yes. Looks like there's a bit of nerves for the Stingrays.
There always is in round 1, isn't there? Yeah. Any type of netball.
Definitely.
It's just about making sure all the combinations you've practiced at training actually happen on the court.
Yeah. I think it's just exciting to get out and play, not against your teammates.
So she was a long way out, Laura Davenport, and couldn't get it through the hoop, but she's having another shot now. A bit closer this time. First goal for the Stingrays. Good tip from Olga Falau, keeps the ball in play. And again, they're stuck in the mid-court here. Over the top she goes to Chelsea Lockray, and she's going to go over the top. Oh, bit overcooked that one.
Yes. Let's see if the Stingrays can bring it down the court.
Bit stagnant from both teams.
Nice and patient.
Davenport over the top. Too far in the pocket, Ricky McRae. She's going to have to try and get back in the circle now. Hayley Mason doing really well, holding Davenport out of the action. And Ricky McRae's in front. And she'll make it 3-2. Erna Hawks still up, although that was an Erna centre, so that's good signs.
Bring it back to level.
Our umpires tonight are Zoe Turner and Shauna Winchester. Taylor Favell is the reserve. Long ball into Sophie Dwyer in the mid-court, pushing back to Olivia Coleman. Mason looking for an option, hasn't got many, she'll have to go lateral. Falau pushing in. Dwyer stuck for an option. Here we go. Lockray, pocket. In the inner channel. Dwyer goes over the circle again. They're really struggling to get under the post here, but persistence has paid off. Penalty outside the circle. Foul. Held ball. That's good pressure from the Stingrays, Kate.
Yes, definitely good pressure, which we like to see as a defender. Oh,
turnover.
And even better intercept from the goal shooter.
Good drive from Dwyer coming around to her player. And she'll finish it with a goal.
Nice left-handed shot there. Nice save.
Have you always been a defender, Kate?
I grew up playing goal attack. So when I was younger, I grew up shooting. My parents hated it because they used to come to games stressing out, biting their lips if I would ever have to take a shot. But then I turned out to be a defender when someone in my team ended up hurting themselves, so I needed to replace them. So, yeah, it's turned out for the best, I think. Mum and Dad don't have to stress as much.
It's funny, you often ask defenders, have they been a defender their whole life? And usually it's a similar story to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sort of get stuck playing it and then you love it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to give it up.
No, definitely. Less pressure, more fun, I think.
Stingrays still struggling to sort of push up their ends. Nothing's flowing at the moment. There's a step. Sort of sums up how it's gone for them so far, Kate.
Sorry?
Sort of sums up how far it's gone for them so far.
Definitely. There's a lot of pressure down in the Hawks defence, and Liv has been doing very well to keep moving her feet and make sure that confusing the space. Nice transition to bring the ball down the court there. Just needs some short passes.
Coleman can't believe it. Look at the smile on her face. And she is a brilliant athlete. She represented the Northern Territories in the under-19s. And she's also an identified tall athlete. So together with Rhiannon Stokes, another Erna Hawks player, they'll be in that program.
We should have a short program.
That's right. Why do the tall people get help?
It's like tallest.
They've already got an advantage, haven't they?
They do.
Tegan Holland to take the throw in. Baseline. Bolton. McRae's got it now. Plenty of driving from Courtney Jones. And this time Ricky McRae's got it on the baseline. No success. Coleman straight on it, picking up the crumbs. Pushing up through the inner channel now. Oh, they're forced to go back. Chelsea Lockery with it now. Good hands. Okafalau's jumped on a loose ball. Oh, and Tegan Holland's here to spoil the party. It's out. There was an amazing example of how sometimes bringing the ball back in can work for you guys.
Definitely.
Was that last week?
Yes. Yes.
Helen Houseby first and then Paige next.
Yeah. No, everyone should have a look at that. That was my
highlight
play of the season so far.
And we're only up to round 5, I think that was.
Yeah. Round 6 this week.
So Chelsea Lockery looking for an option. She's forced back to Mallon. Dwyer in the pocket. She's got to get back inside the circle, remember. Okafalau just drops it. That was good tactics from the Erna Hawks because Tegan Holland was all over her. Only way they were going to get it.
Oh, there's that shot again.
She's accurate from a long way out.
She is.
Hawks up 7-2.
Oh.
Liv. Jones, nice feeding into McRae. Davenport offloads to Mexted. And she's got it back. 7-3. Stingrays still got a shot in this.
Yeah. They've had plenty of opportunities, I think. Lots of turnovers. I think they've just got to try and make sure they get the ball down the court a little bit be more careful with their placement of passing.
The defence certainly has been good. I mean, the Erna Hawks are still struggling to get up here. It hasn't been an easy ride for them so far.
No,
Although they've come up with an opportunity here with a turnover. Walker. Then back to Coleman. Dwyer's come into the midcourt, inner channel to Lockery. And we're still stuck for an option here. They're not totally confident with their Stokes at the moment. I think that's because Tegan Holland's doing such a good job defending her.
Definitely.
Jones to Bolton. McRae looking for an option, goes back, goes sidewards. Jones preempted that Ricky McRae would still be on her left, and unfortunately she'd already moved on.
There's lots of good pressure here.
Walker to Mason. Walker Folau, very lucky then. She positioned her body well in between two defenders. And Stokes will finish the effort. 9-3, the Hawks lead the Stingrays. Less than 5 minutes in this first quarter. Long bomb to Stokes. Walker Folau. Lockery over the top. That was better play.
That was
much smoother that time.
Lovely movement into the goal circle then.
Has anyone impressed you so far?
Liv, as a defender, I would say Liv Coleman. She's creating a lot of turnovers and putting a lot of doubt into the feeders' minds. It looks like it.
We mentioned she's in the Tall Athletes program, and you can definitely see she uses the long arms to her advantage.
Definitely.
A lot of people have height, but I don't think they're as blessed with those long arms like she is.
No, and she's very, she looks like she can move as well. Some tall people aren't as agile, but Liv definitely looks like she can move around.
Having watched her play 2 seasons of Premier League as well, I think she looks a lot stronger this year, and that would definitely be from benefiting from this environment, I would say too.
Yeah, definitely.
So Jones goes over the top. McRae. That would have been a great feed. Just unable to pull it in. Davenport, nice bounce. How do you counteract the bounce pass as a defender, Kate, when you know it's coming?
Oh, I think you just got to try and move your feet as much as you can and put doubt in the space so they can't actually, make a bounce pass, I think. Although I'd much rather defend a bounce pass than a high pass, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's a lot slower. High passes can have a little bit of speed on them. I think bounce pass, it's got to come up. So I think it's a lot easier to read.
That's a really interesting take. All right, so McRae outside. Goes back to Mexted. This time Davenport out. This time Mason's come up with it. Coleman, Walker. Lockery in the middle. Goes lateral to Walker. Walker Folau. She's had the ball so much, and she's been great finding some space. Moments lost. Lockery was free, but the pass was hesitant from Stokes. And they'll pick it up inside the circle with Dwyer. Hawks make it 13. Leading by 8 with 2 minutes on the clock. Folau popping behind her player. Lockery, top of the circle, straight to Dwyer. No worries. She makes it look so easy, Sophie Dwyer.
Oh, she does. And left-handed shooters always look so much better for some reason.
I'm glad you've picked that up, because I actually didn't notice that she was left-handed. So
oh, really?
I'm glad that the expert here is really picking up the good stuff.
We always love it left-handed, I think.
Davenport in front. Won't waste the opportunity. Stingrays edge a little closer, 14-6. Hocker Folau draws 2 players. Dwyer's calling for it. She's free, but instead they go back. Lockery straight to Stokes. That was a brilliant feed.
It was brilliant. Just letting the ball go. It's nice to see.
The timing as well. Just waiting for that defender to pass. Straight through the gap. Nice contact call from the Erna Hawks. Sutherland ball outside the circle, up and over. McRae dropping back, but unable to put it through the hoop. Mason has been great underneath the net as well. She's really jumped on every
opportunity.
Yeah, every time they've missed a shot, she's been there. Definitely. Lockery. Stokes, she'll have a shot herself. And it was a good idea she did. 16-6. Less than 10 seconds of play. They've struggled to get something happening here, but they're going to try. Long bomb. And that'll be all she wrote for the first quarter. 16-6 up by 10, the Hawks lead the Stingrays. What are your thoughts about this first quarter?
I think there's been a lot of turnovers, and I think defensive pressure from both teams. There's been a lot of intercepts and deflections. I think the Hawks have especially made sure that they've converted their intercepts and their deflections, which has made them 10 goals in front at quarter time, I think. I definitely think Stingrays have had opportunity. I think they just need to be patient, more patient with the ball.
Well, the Hawks do boast a lot of amazing players. We've already mentioned Liv Coleman. Hayley Mason is another player that's playing in the under-19s sort of scenario, but she's playing for ACT with Rhiannon Stokes. We mentioned Stokes and Coleman in the Tall Athletes program. And then you've also got Sophie Dwyer, we've already given a little bit of a rap to, who is captaining the New South Wales under-17s this year. She made the Nationals team as well for that age group. And also Hannah Victor, New South Wales under-17. So there's a lot of talent there. But that's not to say that the Stingrays don't have any too, because they've got plenty of New South Wales under-19s players playing for the Opens, but also the under-20s. I believe there's 6 all up, and 2 of them are in this team. So, you know, there's some really quality players here, and it's just at the moment that Erna have been a little bit more composed with those nerves early on.
Definitely.
So, Kate, let's focus on you a little bit. Obviously, you've moved up to Sydney from Melbourne. How are you enjoying your time up here?
Yeah, I get asked this question a lot, and I do love Sydney. It's very similar to Melbourne. It's a lot warmer, which is nice.
I can't believe you're saying that right now. It's so cold in this netball centre.
I'm sitting in my beanie. But no, the summer was beautiful, and you can expect hot days. And no, I love the beaches. Sydney's been amazing so far, and I think the season's just topped it off a bit. We've started with 3 wins, which is amazing, and just loving it. Everyone's so nice up here, and it's like I've got a family away from home.
It's nice to hear you say that we're nice up here, because often Sydney folk get touted as, people with the nose up in the air. So to hear you say that is lovely. I'm glad you're enjoying your time up here. Now, how about your family? Are you missing them a lot?
Yeah, I do miss them. The first month and a half was like a holiday, and then Mum, I always got calls from Dad saying that, Mum's she can't walk past your room, Kate. She's so upset.
It's you're a ghost now, you're not there.
The cats, Mum always sends me photos of the cats on my bed at home, and, Mum and Dad miss me a lot. I have a sister, whereas she's sister relationship. I get along with her, but I don't have to talk to her every single day, whereas Mum, I get a message from her making sure I'm okay every day, and Dad as well, and they miss me a lot. But
is it just the 2 of you?
Yeah.
So she's probably enjoying all the space and attention on her now.
Yeah, although when I moved, I think she was more disappointed that my wardrobe was leaving with me.
Are you the oldest?
Yeah.
There we go. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think her Instagram post that she posted of me was something to do with I'm going to miss you, but I'm going to miss your clothes more.
Thanks so much, sis.
Yeah.
So you played netball since you were young, but you've also played basketball, athletics, tennis, pretty sporty.
Yeah, Mum and Dad just wanted to throw me into everything when I was young. I think, keep me active, and I think that's really important, being a young kid and making sure that I had friends in lots of different sports and got to know different people, and I think it's shaped me a lot to be organised and, you know, understanding of everyone else, and everyone's from different like areas and stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed every aspect of every sport that I did. But yeah,
And
netball.
why did netball stick out?
Oh, I think the community in netball was just like, I loved it. Dad always thinks that I was a better basketballer than netball, but I think I love the people, and yeah, just the opportunity that netball had. I think I was a lot, I had more opportunities in netball than I did basketball, and yeah, I don't know. I just think the netball community is amazing, and I think it's so good for girls to be in and be around other netballers.
I think
So,
many
yeah.
people at home would agree with you, Kate.
Yeah.
So we've seen some changes to the Stingrays side, none to the Erna Hawks. So Brianna Tears come on in centre to replace Genevieve Mexted. Hawks already on the board in second quarter, 17-6. And Michaela Baker Camfin has come on in goal attack. So I think those changes are probably smart, considering they struggled a bit in the first quarter. What do you think about changing the centre and the goal attack positions there?
Yeah, I think it should be good. Hopefully the centre can offer more patience and a drive out of defence to get the ball down the court, and then hopefully more of the goal attack can bring more of a presence to put up some shots.
So Brianna T, that's her in the pocket now, working with Michaela Baker Camfan, having an impact early. We've still got Davenport and Shooter. And it seems Baker Camfan will have her first shot tonight. There we go, and converted. 17-7, the gap is still 10 goals. Have you heard of Brianna Tier before, Kate?
She's a NetFit girl, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at her and I was like, I think I've seen her somewhere.
So if you follow Kimmy G on Instagram or
Sarah Wall.
That's right. You might see Brianna pop up here and there doing NetFit stuff, touring all over the world. So jealous, what a job that would be like.
I know,
Just
that would be my dream job after netball, I think. Travel the world and yeah.
Maybe you should talk to Brianna after the game.
I know. Might have to.
Jones over the top. It's a lovely tip from Lockery. Nice defence. Tier will take it on the sideline. Jones now to Davenport. Baker Camfan will make it 2 from 2.
She's had a good impact so far. 2 goals, bringing the gap back down to 8.
But also giving them another option with the attack, because they were a bit stagnant before.
Nice.
Baker Camfan looks like she's willing to take some risks.
Yes. Definitely, that was a big pass into the pocket then, but it opened up very nicely.
It was a little bit risky, but considering they're now 7 goals difference instead of 10, it's probably a smart plan to try and mix some stuff up. And that's a missed shot from Sophie Dwyer. You won't see many of those. Bolton, Baker Camfan, Jones to Davenport. Popping it up, but there's no shooter there. And Erna Hawks will get the baseline throw in. Stuck in the middle. Okufalau again, giving them an option to get out of the predicament.
Been plenty of passes so far. Nice pressure from the Stingrays at the moment.
Arms are up straight away as soon as their opponent has the ball. This time Erna do get through to the circle and they'll take it to the post. 18-10.
Nice take.
Baker Camfan really driving through then. She was challenged well with the centre pass. She'll offload backwards, and Bolton pick up the pass to Jones. Again, stuck for an option. Davenport came out to the pocket and fed to the other shooter. 18-11, 7 goals difference. Good hands. Tip from Bolton means that the ball did fall back in the Stingrays' hands, although a bit of a wayward pass has seen Erna get the ball back with a throw in. Mason to Walker. Dwyer. Strong pass. Stokes. Swish. That was beautiful.
It was.
Lovely little flick. Now, if you're having a look at the crowd tonight, you might see that there's plenty of people on the Stingray side. Hand from Coleman means the Stingrays get the ball back. So there's been a call here.
Offside.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Sutherland Shire Netball Association has brought a bus up of fans tonight to support the Stingrays, which is lovely considering so many of these young girls have to go to school tomorrow.
I remember playing in Victoria. We play on a Wednesday night as well, and some of our games are 9:40.
Oh my goodness, wow.
When I was in year 12, I wouldn't get home until midnight, and yeah, still had to go to school the next day as well. So it's a tough life being a netballer, but it has its perks as well.
Dwyer doing really well to position her body then, so she got the ball. It's interesting, you bring up the HSC and struggling to, you know, keep that late night netball balance happening with also your studies. The Stingrays were really impacted by HSC last year, and they're quite lucky that this year they've only got 2 studying the HSC while juggling Premier League. But yeah, last year they had 7 players. So that, you know, that's almost your main starting side, also juggling their HSC and all the emotions that come with that.
Oh God, yeah. Although a lot of teachers say that elite athletes are the best students because we have to learn how to be organised and juggle lots of things. So, yeah. But definitely very stressful school. But netball's a good thing to just, you know, let out all your emotions sometimes and just forget about it.
So we've seen a quick change here for the Erna centre.
Lovely take again.
Little tip from Coleman almost gives Erna Hawks back the ball. Davenport capitalises on that mistake.
Definitely. And it's back to 6.
So Selin Rush is the player that's come on in centre for the Erna Hawks, pushing Chelsea Lockery to the bench. Davenport, Jones, lovely drop back from Davenport, just finding some space behind the defenders.
And a lovely feed as well from Courtney Jones.
Do you prefer to defend from in front of your shooter or behind? Sort of
In front.
to the side, in front.
In front, yeah.
What happens when they drop back like that?
I think you've just got to make sure you move your feet. Yeah,
And
just make
spatial
sure,
aware?
Yeah, make sure you're always, moving your feet, keeping your eyes on the ball because, if you don't have eyes for the ball, you can't get it. So, yeah.
And do you know what's difficult about playing inside and on these courts? As we see Davenport, baseline, with another goal. 2015 is now 5 goals difference. The Stingrays have really come back this quarter.
Yes, they have.
You can't watch your shadow the way you can on a everyday grade netball court.
Yeah.
With the sun, you can always just follow the shadow and keep your peripheries on them.
Yeah,
But you guys don't have that.
No, I think I'd rather play in an air-conditioned stadium than the sun, though.
Fair enough.
As much as that would help. No, that would be handy. Maybe they just need to put the lights on a certain angle so you can still see.
But then you'd probably have an advantage, right? Because the sun would be coming one way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're going to swap either side, so
yeah,
I don't mind that idea, Kate. Okay, Hawks have got the ball and it's offside call. It's the second we've seen this quarter. Walker pushing up the channel now. Oh, she's collided with, but they'll play on. Cross court now. Rush has got it. Tries to feed to Stokes. Good challenge from Holland, but she was being pulled up for it. And she's done well to grab the rebounds. Tier, pass back with her. Give and go. Tier to Jones, flying through the air. She'll give it back. Bounce pass. Davenport up and in. I think we've really seen Baker Camfan play, as I mentioned before, more of an attacking role, but she's also offloading the ball to Davenport a lot more, almost treating her like a holding shooter.
Yeah, and she's just giving the ball to like anybody that she sees, which creates flow down the court and just lets everyone's movement work a lot better, which is perfect to see, which is why they're only they're 6 goals down now, but yeah.
So you think she's really influenced the flow?
Yeah. They're just letting the ball go.
There's a free for all then. Walker bringing the ball back in and Mason jumping on it. Unlucky call. Walker. Dwyer straight to Stokes, who's in front. Holland with a nice hold. Lovely shot. Everybody's rugged up here. It's so cold and we're not even into winter yet.
No. It's funny, this stadium, like it can get so hot in the summer and then it can just get so cold. There's no in between.
Dwyer, pocket. This time communication's not there and it'll be a Stingrays throw in. Although she's not happy with the call either. We might have missed something up there. Holland to take the throw. She's telling Boyling to get back and find some space. Bolton's got it to Jones. Over the top to Baker Camfan. Oh,
beautiful. See, amazing, just give the ball and it just opens everything else up.
That is smooth play.
Yes.
Lovely work between Jones and Davenport. Just waiting under the post. Jones coming out for the centre pass now. Davenport over the top. Good hands from Coleman. Although she is being pulled up. Not the 3 feet. Stingrays, edge of the circle now. Opting to go over the top. And Baker Camfan will take a shot. I don't think she's missed one yet.
No.
23-18. The Hawks lead the Stingrays. We've got just over 2 minutes left before halftime. Lockery, quick play. Going over the top to Stokes. That's the great thing about this Hawks side. They're able to turn it on very quickly and just snap back into their play.
Definitely. And having the accuracy at the end as well just makes life a lot easier when it doesn't have to be sent down the court.
Nice drive from Jones. Tier gives it to the shooter in the pocket. They've gone pocket to pocket. Mason. A lot of whistle blowing there, but it's meant that the Stingrays get the goal. They're edging closer. Only 6 goals difference here. 1:11 on the clock.
Wow. Lovely intercept there.
Goes by Bolton. Read the play. Eyes on the ball. Holland now gives it back to Bolton. And the Stingrays will get a free throw. Clock's ticking. Tears driving from way back, but Bolton goes to Jones instead, although the pass hasn't worked out. I'm not sure who it was to. Little error there, and it's seen Erna move up the court and moving up this inside channel, though they'll go straight back into the middle and up the other side. Shifting the ball around very fast. And Stingrays are struggling to keep up with them as they get another goal. Stingrays centre. Jones looking for an option, hasn't got many. Tier just not tall enough for that one. Longer arms might have helped. 4 seconds. Coleman. There we go, half time. 25-19, the Hawks are up by 6. Any difference in play that time?
I think the Stingrays were just able to convert their turnovers, and I don't think the Hawks defenders were able to get as much ball with the movement that Baker
That's right.
Brought to the court. I think she just allowed a lot more movement, and just the defenders couldn't defend as well as they did in the first quarter, which allowed them to fight back.
And obviously those changes that Sutherland Stingrays made were warranted because it changed up the rhythm of the game, and they also clawed their way back with the momentum.
Yes. I think Brianna as well, coming on through the middle, was able to just punch through the middle and just give an option even if she wasn't being used. I think just having a lead in the middle really opened up the sides and allowed the ball to just flow and allow the long balls to go and just confuse everybody. Yeah.
Has she been the standout in their side so far?
I think Holland's been pretty good too.
Yeah.
Like she's to be able to keep the two goalers down there who've been so accurate to 25 goals and a half. I'd say that's pretty good. So defensively, I think the Boiling and Holland are doing really well as well. Yeah, I think it's a group effort at the moment, which is good.
When it comes to the Swifts and you guys playing, do you get a goal limit that you're supposed to try and stick to and restrict the other side with, or does it just depend each week depending who you're up against?
It just depends, I guess. I think we just want to concentrate on ourselves and make sure that we convert our centre passes and then make sure that any intercept that we get, we convert. I don't think we really set a limit on the goals because that's it's a bit hard to maintain that. Depends on the goalers. Like some teams will score a lot faster than others, and I think it's just Bryony's been really good this year and just making sure that we concentrate on ourselves and we can beat anyone. So as long as we stick to our game plan, that's better than
well, it seems to be working. You guys beat Collingwood over the weekend, and obviously they've been tipped as the ones to beat almost 2 years in a row because of all their star power, but it's just not working for them on the court, is it?
No, it doesn't seem to be. There seems to be a lot of, I think, miscommunication because they're just, individually they're amazing. Like, they're such good athletes and they're so incredibly talented. And,
in their own right, definitely.
Yeah, it just don't seem to be working. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's difficult when you're focused on your own game.
No, I don't know what it is. But, I think we took advantage of that on the weekend and made sure that we really punished them when they made errors and stuff. And I think us at Swifts, we are so connected and we just we work together as a team. And you know that chase that you spoke about before about Helen and Paige chasing the ball through one side of the court all the way to the other, that just shows that we trust that if we put the ball back in the court, someone else will chase after it. And I think that's what's really enjoyable at the Swifts, and I think that is what differed us compared to Collingwood.
I think what's great about you guys is that you can tell how much you're enjoying it. Just watching at home or even from the stands, you can really see that there's a good vibe at the Swifts this year. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the Opens game. You mentioned Tegan Holland. She's actually going to back up and be on the bench tonight for the Opens, and so will Alex Bolton. So I mentioned to you off air that they've changed the rules this year with Premier League. And what that means is that sides can now have their under-20s 11 instead of having their team and then training partners. And the Opens can sort of just pick and choose when they use those under-20s, those extras as well. And the rule change means that they can now actually play 2 full games if their club requires them to. So it'd be a big ask. You'd be very tired at the end of it. But certainly with the last 2 seasons, we've seen lots of injuries and players, having to grab at straws from Metro League players and just trying to find someone to play every week. So this new system, I think, will work a lot better. What have you seen from the Erna Hawks so far? I mean, obviously they were very dominant in the first quarter. And then coming into this second quarter, I think they were just as dominant, but the Stingrays really stepped up to their level.
Yeah, I think they've continued to be, very dominant, but I just think that the Stingrays were able to convert what they weren't able to convert in the start. So I think they still are very, they're dominating in defence, they're getting a lot of turnovers, and obviously their goalers are so accurate as well, which makes it, it's a good day when your goalers are getting the goals in. So, I think, they're definitely dominating in most parts of the game tonight.
And has there been a standout player so far?
I'd still say Liv Coleman. Mm-hmm. She's been, also just at the end of that quarter, I think she got picked up for a couple of contacts. But I think, she's done really well to create turnovers, whether she's got them or Hayley Mason has got them as well. I think she's, confused the space and allowed everybody else to get tips and turnovers, which, as a tall player, that's what she's going to do.
I think from an amateur perspective, watching Olivia Coleman, you notice how composed she is. And as a defender, it's sometimes hard to be composed when your shooter might be doing really well, especially because, Australians play a style that's very man-on-man, body-to-body, quite physical. But she never looks rattled, and she always looks very composed and ready just for that opportunity. I think that's the difference with her than some other defenders.
Yeah, definitely. She looks very calm, like nothing really phases her, which is, I think as you get older.
at this age.
I know.
So young.
I know. I reckon when I was this age, I'd probably had a couple of rolling eyes or something if the umpire would call me for something. But she's like, I think it's very good to see at that age as well, because that's what coaches look for. They don't want somebody with attitude that'll, get sent off the court, and, the umpires will always look back at you if you give them a dirty eye or something. So that's good to see for a young athlete, I think,
So, Kate, you were a training partner with the Vixens last year, and obviously now you've actually made your debut this year. What was it like that very first game to come on and be part of Super Netball?
It was an amazing experience. Like, I will never forget it. It was, against Firebirds, which they are such a tough team, and playing against Gretel Tippett, I kind of just went out there and was like I just thought it was kind of like training. We'd done so much work, like 6 months of pre-season. I was kind of like, oh, thank God we're playing netball. There wasn't too many nerves, or it was more just excitement, and having the girls around me, I was just like, there was so much confidence within each other that, so it was really exciting, and super proud to pull on the red dress and get on the court and win, which is exciting.
And just quickly before we get back to the under-20s action here, you were the vice-captain for the Australian under-21s last year at the World Youth Cup. Went to Botswana, lost to New Zealand in the final, but played with many of the players that are going to come up in this Opens competition, like Claire O'Brien, Kira Austin, Tegan O'Shaughnessy, Tony Anderson, who's over in England at the moment. What was it like getting all those girls from all different parts of Australia together and just playing netball?
It's always good representing your country, and always all those camps was so different, because you'd played against them at nationals and then to come together and actually be in their team. But it was just it was so incredible and just so humbling to be able to just come together for the same reason, that you just all loved netball and wanted to just improve and you wanted to win. So it was just, and to have friends all over the country was pretty cool as well,
What was the Botswana crowd like?
They were so loud, they were crazy, it was insane. There were so many people there were all these chants, everyone dancing. Africa's it's so cool. Everyone was so lovely as well, so
I'm glad to hear you had a good time.
Yeah.
So the Hawks were first to score in this quarter, but then the Stingrays answered back. So 1 each so far. Keeping the ball in play, Walker, but it's fallen into the Stingrays' hands. And now they'll get an extra little opportunity with Brianna Tier taking the pass.
Lovely intercept there.
She's wasted a little bit. The Hawks quick to jump on it. Rush now, waiting at the top of the goal third. Dwyer in the pocket. Lockery's calling for it. Rush, top circle. Stokes.
Looks like we've got a different wing defence here this quarter.
So Chelsea Lockery's come back on in wing attack, which means Luana Okafalau has come off. Davenport baseline. Lovely little flick. And you mentioned we've got a different wing defence in the Stingrays. I believe that is Caitlin McComb.
Nice hands over. Good intercept.
Good ball, just getting it out of the way completely through the midcourt and moving up fast now, the Stingrays. Plenty of space. Davenport a little way out, but no trouble at all. The accuracy, you can see the Stingrays players on the bench. So Alex Bolton's come off with that change. Caitlin McComb coming on. Probably getting just some time to rest in case she's needed for the open side. And I must give a good shout out to Karen McComb, whose daughter is playing now. She's on the court, Caitlin McComb. She'll probably be here, but I was told if I didn't give her a shout out, I'd get in trouble. So there you go, Karen. Hope your daughter plays well tonight. Yeah. That pass wasn't fantastic. From the centre pass as well. Tier squished by two Erna Hawks defenders. And some good driving from Baker Campfen now. Coleman again on the ball coming off the rebounds.
Oh, nice pass.
And I've just noticed there's another change in the Erna wing defence as well. That's Danny Ross. So one change for the Stingrays after that quarter and two for Erna. Just trying to get the momentum to swing back heavily in their favour. Moving up the inside channel now. Lockery's in the pocket. She'll go over the top with a bit of an ambitious pass. It's gone over the back line. Holland. Gifted a little extra to move up the court. Good driving from the Stingrays players here on a diagonal. Almost too easy to get up there that time.
Nice shot. Brings back to 4 goals.
28-4. 5 minutes down. Quick hands, quick passing.
Good tip.
Yes, that was nice work from the goal defence. Stokes' percentage must be high for this game. He's been very accurate.
Surely.
Here goes lateral. Jones, Skywood. Davenport tries to use Jones on the edge of the circle. And it's paid off. Baker Camfan will take another shot. Lots of talking. Dwyer driving forward for the centre pass. Lockery now goes back to Dwyer. She's going to go over the top. Rash did well to get that pass over her head. And Charlotte with the short pass in front. Stokes with the goal, 30-25. Jones, long ball to Davenport, went through her hands. They're definitely taking some more risks now, the Stingrays, Kate.
Yes, they are. It looks like they have a bit more confidence the closer that they have gotten to the Hawks. They've let the ball go and they are definitely playing a bit more riskier, if that's the word.
But I think that's a testament to Erna's defence, isn't it?
Yeah,
because they're having to.
Yeah, they're shutting down the first options, which is making them go long, which I think soon we should see some amazing intercepts, hopefully by Liv coming out of the circle for those long ones.
Oh, lovely hands. If that had gone in, that would have just been fantastic play. That would have been nice footage for the highlights reel.
She balanced so well on her one leg too.
And she was so nonchalant about it. She's just like, oh yeah, I got the ball. I'll have a shot. 32-25, the Hawks lead the Stingrays. Stingrays centre. Jones coming forward now. Tier driving, she's lost the ball. And Olivia Coleman will get the free pass. Walker going to move up the inside channel. Big pass to Dwyer. Rush. Now trying to decide whether she goes short. She does to Lockery. Quick passing from Dwyer. Stokes. He'll take a shot in front.
I think that quick ball movement's been really good to keep the defenders moving, and which has been causing the contacts at the end here against Holland last few times. Because she's getting stuck on the body a bit much. The ball movement's really put her out of place.
Good drive from Rush across the court. Dwyer's calling for it. It's gone too low. Just bounced sidewards of her. Baker Camfan to Tiu. Going to take it back.
Nice and steady with the ball.
Davenport. Showing composure, the Stingrays. Just checking all their options before they make the decision. Oh, this time it's popped into the hands of Denny Ross. Turnover, Stingrays. I think the only time we're seeing the play slow up, you're right, Kate, is when we get into the goal circle and a penalty is given. Yeah. And then the shooter has an extra 3 seconds to take the shot. But otherwise, in the mid-court, it's been quite fast.
Definitely.
Lockery stuck for an option. She'll go back to Walker for a third time. This time she's been monstered behind. That was good work from Caitlin McComb to get the ball back for the Stingrays. Here she goes now. Baker Camfan, Jones, deciding to give to Davenport at the back, who's going to make a little run behind, find some space at the back of all the mess in the middle.
Beautiful shot as well to finish off that lovely intercept.
33-26, so this lead by the Hawks has sort of spilled out a little bit again. Oh, missed opportunity here. Who's going to grab the ball? Lucky for the Stingrays. Davenport's on it. Jones, bounce pass now. 2 bounce passes in a row. That's not often. Davenport stuck for an option. She'll go over the top of the circle and they'll come back. Baker Camfan now to Davenport. Same spot as she was, I reckon, all those other times. But this time, she's been able to give an assist to Baker Camfan off the rim.
don't get many of those calls.
Especially off the centre pass, you're right.
Yeah.
Quick ball movement from the Stingrays.
It's always a win for a defender when the goal attack contacts you.
Tier. Right place, right time. Now to Davenport. Coleman's got a good hold with those long arms, and she'll try and use them on the rebound, but couldn't get there. Davenport sort of has a dummy throw. And we'll take another shot here. (33-28). The gap's now 5. Just over 3 minutes before quarter time. Now they call this the championship quarter. Kate, do you agree with that?
I think so in some scenario, like in some cases, definitely, because it can put you in good moods and good spirits for the last quarter, which, you know,
if you're doing well,
the game,
right?
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely think it could be the championship quarter.
Another turnover on the transverse line.
That's a coach hate a break. Never want to do one of them.
It's a player hate too.
Yeah.
It would definitely happen less in this level of competition, but I know in grade netball sometimes, especially as a defender, you just want to be that one step in front of your opponent, and then you're caught offside. Everyone's running for the ball here. Boiling ended up with it. Holland to Boiling. Quick passing to McComb. Jones sprinting backwards. Oh, how frustrating.
I know.
Through the hands of Davenport.
I think that was 4 goals in a row for the Stingrays, which is
a good run of play.
Yeah, definitely.
Coleman, long pass to Rush. She'll go cross court. Now Denny Ross has got it. Lockery in the middle. Rush looking for an option. Denny Ross comes back again. Long ball, quick passing. Oh my goodness. The quick assist from Stokes to Dwyer. And then the 1 foot, no balance shot. Wow, special things happening in the Erna Hawk circle. Dwyer going back to Walker. Denny Ross to Lockery, who's pushing forward. There's good defence from the Stingrays here. Centre and wing defence especially. Stokes has got it.
Yeah, I think Caitlin McComb's really come on and added that extra pressure down in the defensive end, which hasn't allowed the Hawks to bring the ball down as quickly and as fast, which always helps out the goalkeepers and the goal defences as well.
Well, if you look at the defenders here for the Stingrays, you can't actually see them on the screen. We might wait till we push back up here. It's another goal for the Stingrays, 35-31. 4 goals difference, 40 seconds left. If you get a chance to have a look at wing defence, goalkeeper are all similar heights. And not that the Erna players are lacking height at all, but it makes for a very even contest in terms of defence at the back here.
Definitely.
A little bit of height over Lockery as well would help in that wing defence position. Stokes is in front now.
Nice shot.
Makes no mistake. Pushes the Hawks 1 more in front. Although we haven't seen our scoreboard change, it looks like it's 36-31. I hope that's the right score. 5 seconds on the clock. Hawks moving up towards. And a call will prevent them from having another attempt at goal. So 5 goals the difference. Just 1 quarter, 15 minutes left to go. What are you thinking, Kate? What would your first words be to either of these teams at this point, if you were the coach?
Well, I think the Stingrays definitely, they had a perfect run in that towards the end of that quarter, and I think just a couple of balls that didn't fall their way allowed the Hawks to step out a little bit and bring it out to the 5-goal lead, because they did have it back to 3, and I think they had even possession of the ball, which could have then brought it back down to 2, which then would lead into the last quarter, you know, with good spirits and good intensity. But I think the Hawks are, they've just been grinding and all that hard work. I think they just need to keep going, and I think their options are there in attack. They just need to keep using that.
It definitely helps when you've got a leg up after that first quarter, you know, doing so well coming out off the starting blocks. Now Stingrays are sort of scrambling to get up to their level, whereas they can just keep playing their game. And it's working for them. They've been so accurate so far in the circle. Hasn't been many missed shots at all. And I think the only trouble they've really had is in the midcourt with the defence, and heading up to the circle.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Kate, coming back to you now, tell us about your living situation up here in Sydney.
So I live with Maddie Proud and Maddie Turner. I laugh at that because Maddie Proud is just one of the funniest people that I have ever met.
She's quirky, isn't she?
She's definitely funny, and if you ever get to talk to her lately, she will definitely tell you about this book that she's written.
I was just going to say, have you read the book?
I haven't. I actually probably am one of the only people in our team that haven't read the book.
Okay, don't tell her that because she'll probably be on your case to read it.
Well, there's so many books. I reckon there's like 100 books in our house and I have not read one. As soon as I moved in with them, I think there was like not the official book, but there were all the like the copies of the pages and everything. So I've had plenty of opportunities. I just haven't read it. I mean, I love books, but I'm just
avoiding it, maybe?
I know. The other night she was reading. She got out the book and read the first chapter to me. So I'm hoping that she just.
Oh, so you've kind of read it.
I know what it's about and everything. I think I wouldn't mind her reading it to me before I went to bed or something, like as a little nighttime read.
Oh, that sounds lovely. So I was watching this video of you on Swift's TV. Talking about that living situation. Now, have they corrupted you yet? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I don't go for Adelaide Crows yet, which both of them do go for Adelaide Crows. I mean, the AFL, that is, for all you Sydney people.
You said you'd moved over to the Swans. Is that actually true?
No, I haven't. Oh. I haven't. I still do back for Hawthorn. But, yeah, there's not that much AFL up here, so I haven't really been following it that much.
Are you struggling not having the back 10 pages of the paper AFL filled?
It's actually refreshing. It is refreshing to have something different and even sometimes the netball's one of the first few pages that you see, which in Melbourne it's always 10 pages of AFL. So it's good to see rugby and soccer and different types of sports, which is obviously in Victoria, but it's all AFL pretty much.
In that video, you also mentioned that you'd set some goals for 2018. Now, one of them was to make your debut in the Super Netball, which we talked about before. But I think you picked a really good game to make your debut. The double-header, obviously the Giants played first and you guys were after them. And it was sort of the last quarter where it really picked up. Those dying seconds, you guys were able to get the win. And I think there's a video on my Instagram for anyone that hasn't sort of seen what happens. But Kudos Bank Arena just absolutely erupted. It was crazy. You guys were falling over each other on the court. I'm sure Helen Housby was sort of having flashbacks to the Com games. It's like she's taught you guys that now. But, what was that game like for you?
I think it was just a summary of all of our pre-season and all of our off-season. We lost our coach in the off-season, so we were coachless for 2 months, and we celebrated that game as if it was a grand final because I think it was just, we had such a tough off-season, and to just come out on top was, amazing. And amazing for Bryony and Anita, our coaches. They just put in so much hard work and so much effort, and you could really tell that they were so emotional as well, and we were all just so invested in winning that game, and it just, it meant so much to everybody that was involved, and it was crazy.
What do you think happened in that? I think maybe the last 2 quarters was when the momentum really started to sort of swing back your way. What really happened in that last break before you came on from the last quarter? Because something shifted and all of a sudden you guys were just totally, dominant and sort of in the game.
Yeah. I think it was just, I remember Paige in the huddle saying, no one wanted to coach us, or we were coachless, and it kind of hit the heart, and it made you really we've had such a tough season, off season already, and we've, just all this hard stuff isn't for nothing, and, we all just I think it was just heart,
She pulled at the heartstrings.
Yeah, and that's what you want, and I think we just enjoyed it, and that's why you play netball, and, one of our mottos is that we just want to play in the sandpit, and I think you know, remember why we started playing netball, and that's what we did. We just enjoyed it, and that's what we brought in that last quarter, which turned up the win.
It's certainly been enjoyable to watch you guys this season. So the Stingrays have actually scored the first 2 goals of this quarter. 36-33 the score is. So they've come back fighting, and you can obviously hear in the background all these Sutherland supporters and cheering them on. Just little smart pass over the top to get around Dwyer. We've got a new shooter in as well in goal attack.
Offside call. Nice pressure.
Dwyer, long ball to Lockery, who's going to go cross court. Oh, Delilah Coley has also come on, I've just noticed, as she... Oh, it's Dunlop. Oh, shit. I think that is Delilah Coley wearing someone else's outfit. So she's in wing attack for the Erna Hawks. And that looks like the only 2 changes I can see with a new goal attack for the Stingrays.
Lucky an offside call for the Hawks, which means the Stingrays have another opportunity.
Davenport's all over it. She'll add another goal. 37-34, the gap's 3. We've got 11 minutes of play in this game. First round of Premier League, Erna Hawks and Sutherland Stingrays. So I believe this might be Genevieve Mexted in goal attack. I'm not 100% sure. But she can play wing attack and goal attack, so we're going to go with her. Mexted now looking for an option. Held ball. This is good defence by the Erna Hawks. It's really shaping up to be a fast 15 minutes of play, very intense.
Stingrays need to make sure that they can convert this one.
T with the ball. Top of the circle now. Wow.
Nice pass.
Pass back 3 times with T. Davenport is so comfortable out there. She just really knows where to find the space around Coleman, which is difficult because we've talked up how great a player Coleman is.
Definitely.
So she's playing smart at the moment. Delilah Coley's got the ball and she's going to go cross court to Dwyer. Pass had a little bit too much in it, but the Erna Hawks have been able to hang on to their possession. Coley with it again to Dwyer. There's a few options. Lockery's calling for it. Just going to go around the side. Dwyer, Coley, Stokes. Through the hoop. 39-35. 4 goals, just over 9 minutes. This is intense. Mexted straight to Davenport with the bounce pass, and she's ready to receive one back. Miss ball. Coleman stuck for an option.
Beautiful intercept there. That was very close to held ball, but
you could see how frustrated Coleman was getting. It's really great defence from the Sutherland Stingrays.
Definitely.
And Tia just read the play so well, just hanging back and then jumping forward at the right moment to steal the ball. 39-36, back to 3 goals. Dare I say, did the Hawks look a little bit frazzled?
They do. I think that's what happens when you're in front for a whole game as well. There just becomes like this unknown pressure on you, you know, and if you're down the whole game as well, you just always have that, you know, never give up and you're the underdog kind of attitude. So
it's interesting how the momentum swings, isn't it?
It is.
Mexted to Jones. to Davenport. Those passes were lovely, lofted. Straight over the top of the opponent.
I think her last 3 shots have been from that exact spot.
40-37. Erna Hawks centre. What can they do with it here? Stokes calling in the pocket. Little bit stuck on the one side. Brilliant intercept from Madison Boiling.
Nice patience there. Wanted to go long, but chose the short option, which is always...
Outside the circle with Jones. She's going to go over the top. Davenport's ready. Quick pass, top of the circle. There's a really great understanding between these mid-quarters, Jones and Tier, and what Davenport's going to do.
Definitely. They seem to be just finding her in the backspace and giving her a good ball, which in the second quarter and the first quarter they weren't really finding her, but as the game's gone on, they have definitely started to find their touch and being able to place the ball in the right spots for her.
And they're not switching off either, so there's that second phase, third phase play happening, and they're ready for it every time.
Yeah, and there's that backspace again. She's really using that behind space over the top of Coleman.
As a defender, what would you say to Coleman now? How could you prevent that happening if this is happening in your game?
I think maybe try and sit behind her, so she has to come forward, change it up. I think if you're always sitting in front, it's always going to go behind you. So, yeah, just making sure, obviously you want front position as a defender, but if you keep getting burnt behind you, you need to make sure that you keep changing it up and, yeah, move from the side, push her, stand behind her and just make sure you force her up the court.
Coley to Dwyer. She goes back to Coley. Ball's on the ground, and Holland will pick it up.
Unlucky.
Fair call from the umpire. Dwyer says, yes, please. 41-39. They're in front by 2. 6 minutes left.
Crowd's getting louder.
They definitely are. They're great supporters.
Landed in that spot again.
Nice shot. It's a weird technique from Davenport with the pass too. She's sort of just with the 2 hands.
Slings it like a little slingshot.
That's right. That's the perfect word to describe it. Just slinging it back to the mid-quarter. Mason now. Erna Hawks pushing up the court. Stokes looking for an option. She'll go long to Coley, but bad option. 2 quick turnovers.
Oh, that's unlucky.
3 with the help of the umpire. Hollands now, throw for the Stingrays. 5 minutes exactly left.
Stingrays just need to make sure that they're patient and that they've got lots of options to the ball, I think, now.
Davenport pocket, Jones top, looking for Davenport. She'll go to the side.
Just a little bit of a push off on the attack of the ball then.
Coleman, rush, lateral, pass back, give and go.
Oh, beautiful. That was beautifully read then, just a bit late.
Timing is everything in netball. Lockery, force backwards. Mason's got it. She'll go sideways to rush. They're really struggling here to push forwards. And as the moments tick on, the yells get louder for the Erna Hawks. They're getting frustrated. Lockery. Dwyer, nice and close. Need to spread out here. They've gone back to the mid-court. Not a bad idea sometimes just to go back and reset.
Definitely.
Lockery, Dwyer.
Lots of little passes, which is... It's nice as a attacking team to just be patient with the ball until you're able to finish it off. I think defensively you'll think that you're winning by them having lots of little passes, but you know, when they have the ball in their hands.
It's a wonderful grab from Mexted. Up in the air. Jones. Tier. She's got a free pass now. It's a good contest between these 2 shooters. They've got no options. Genevieve Mexted. Held by Coleman. She'll give it to Davenport using their backspace, as you mentioned again. Overthrown. although it's been wasted. Jones has jumped straight on the ball. Davenport. This is one goal difference. 3 minutes left.
It's very cool. Cool as a cucumber, Davenport.
I think you're right, Kate. What I was going to say before is that it has been brilliant defence from the Stingrays up in that Erna goal third, but at the same time they're still getting the ball there, so the persistence is paying off. No matter how many times they have to make a pass, they're still getting there.
Yeah.
Which is a big coup to the Erna Hawks.
Definitely.
They're back in front by 2 now, 2.5 on the clock. This is starting to get very intense.
It's getting exciting.
Tier Jones pushing up the inner channel. We've got Davenport calling for someone to come forwards. Jones, Mexted, just long enough arms to get up and over the top. She's going to have to drop back. And the call goes against the Stingrays. Coleman, free pass for the Hawks. Coley asking someone to come forward. Mason doing well with the timing there, drawing the defender in. Coley passes over the top, but no one's there. And the ball goes out. You can see the Erna players on the bench and the coaching staff. Well, Stingrays have the ball. Interesting times. McComb, Maxted, Jones pushing through. Now, Davenport will give a really easy feed to Maxted. She's missed it. Coleman's jumped on the intercept, the rebound. And there's calls happening left, right and centre here. I think that just shows how intense this game is, Kate.
It is. Everyone just wants the ball.
Mason to Coley in the middle. I'll give it to Lockery. Now she needs options. She's got a few. Dwyer. Lockery, will she give and go? No, she goes with the short. Dwyer.
Oh.
Missed shot. Stingrays come up with the ball through Holland. Good pass to Tier. Oh. Out of the hands of McComb over the sideline. They're down by 2. 40 seconds on the clock. This is crazy. First round and see such a great game already.
I know.
Is exciting times for Premier League.
It's like deja vu.
Do you feel like you're in the moment watching on the side? Mason to Coley. Lockery's in the middle. All the Hawks have to do is keep possession here with 20 seconds on the clock.
Sometimes it's hard to do. All you want to do is just get the ball in the ring, but you're just going to play keepings off.
Oh, they're starting to calm down here. They're actually, Dwyer's calling for it.
3 seconds.
Final shot, does that count? No, it does not count. 43-41, the Erna Hawks have beaten the Stingrays here on the Showcourt, the first round of the under-20s in the Premier League. What a fantastic game.
Yeah, great start to the season. Yeah, and my first experience as well. Awesome.
They put on a show for you tonight,
definitely.
Kate.
It was very, very exciting to watch.
All right, well, we'll be back in a moment. We're going to wrap all of this up as the players all shake hands. So stick with us, and we'll be back in a moment. I like, it looks similar. All right, so the Erna Hawks have beaten the Sutherland Stingrays by 2 goals in their first round of Premier League action. Kate Eddy, it was your first time watching the Premier League. What did you think?
I think it was amazing, very exciting, lots of talent. I think Davenport in the last quarter was just outstanding, very cool as a cucumber. I think that, it was very exciting to watch.
Was she your standout player out of the whole game?
I think towards the end, definitely she stood out. Liv Coleman would be up there as well, as we spoke about during the game. I think she was very consistent through the whole game as well, getting lots of turnovers, but I definitely think Davenport in the end,
And what about when it comes to the Stingrays? Because they really pushed the Hawks at the end there. They got close, just a few mistakes that sort of didn't go their way. Was there any player that stood out for you for them?
For the Stingrays, so Davenport.
Oh, Davenport.
Yeah. I think Brianna Tier as well came on and just allowed a lot more options and was always a backup and a reset, which I think when you're under the pump you always need that little feed off, which is always just like a breath of fresh air.
All right, Kate, well, it's brilliant to have you with us tonight. Stick with us because we'll be back at 8:40 with the Opens coverage of the Erna Hawks and the Stingrays on this court. If you're watching and you wanted to know the other scores, I'm just going to run through those quickly. So there were tight games up on the other courts as well. The Panthers beat the GWS Fury 46-45. North Shore United beat the Manly Warringah Sapphires 46-43, only 3 goals there. And then a bit of a blowout on court 3. The UTS St George Sparks, winners last year, but going down tonight to the Central Coast Heart, 57-37, so a pretty big loss there by 20 goals. As I mentioned, stick with us. Kate will be with us. Opens action coming your way. Hello and welcome back to the Genea Netball Centre for the Premier League, first round of the season, and now we've got the Opens coming up on the Showcourt, the Erna Hawks up against Sutherland Stingrays. So we just saw the under-20s Stingrays and Erna Hawks play, had a really great game where the Hawks got up by 2 goals in the end, 43 to 41. New South Wales defender, stuck around She's actually noticed some familiar faces coming up on the court. Who have you noticed?
Ali Miller. She's one of our New South Wales Swifts training partners, so it's good to see her playing for the Hawks. Also, Nick Stiles, who I played with for the Waratahs when I dropped back for the ANL, and also Lily, and I believe it's Maddie as well for the Stingrays. So
you were saying Maddie Eden had actually come and played some games against you guys when you needed some more people.
Yeah, she just came in for one of our training sessions and just filled in so we could have a practice match while we were in our pre-season, which, you know, is good to have our practice matches before we head into the season.
All right, so just quickly before we get underway here, it looks like Erna Hawks are going to start off with the ball, the first centre pass. For the Erna Hawks, Jen Wright, who is the new coach at this club, coming over from the Manly Warringah Sapphires, where she won the premiership in the Opens last year. In the shooting circle, Alicia Cairns and Emily Bills in goal attack, Georgia Marshall in wing attack, Ebony Bernard in centre, who's come up from the under-20s this year. Wing defence is Laura McLaren, goal defence is Jess Grant, and with her in the defensive circle is Nick Stiles, who's also come from UTS, so lots of movement in the Opens competition this year. For the Sutherland Stingrays, Maria Lynch has selected Beatrice Dignan in goal shooter. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her later on. Goal attack, Maddie Eaton, who's come across from the UTS under-20s, where she won a premiership in the under-20s last year. Fantastic shooter. Shelby Mallon in wing attack, Maddie Woods in centre, Lily Gorman-Brown is in wing defence, Katie Maguire in goal defence, and goalkeeper is Cassandra Radford, almost taken out by the ball here on the side of the court. And it's 0-0 with 1 minute gone, Hawks and Stingrays. So some good defensive pressure early, Kate. There's obviously no goals have been scored in this first minute.
Definitely. It's always nervous, as the first game was, the under-20s. First game of the season.
That was a fantastic grab from Stingray shooter. Just making sure she positioned her body to get the ball away from the defenders. Shelby Mellon outside the circle, pops the ball over the top. And Beatrice Dignan will make it.
Ball.
There you go. Oh, she's won it back.
That's what you want from your goal shooters. When something goes wrong, you want them to get it back.
Her arm movement and positioning of the body actually reminds me a lot of Janelle Fowler-Reid, turning her back to the ball, and she's almost grabbing it with more of her wrist than her hand, which is interesting. Georgia Marshall now to Emily Bernard. Edge of the circle, Alicia Cairns has got it. Top of the circle, Georgia Marshall, pass back. And we'll see Emily Bills get a free shot. Hawks, first goal. First match of the competition. Stingrays are up. 2-1.
A lot of whistle called early in this game.
Do you put that down to nerves? We spoke about that in the under-20s as well.
Yeah, I think it's just trying to get away, like, see what you can get away with at the start of the game. I think it's good to, get us close and see how tight you can get and see what you can get away with as a defender and see what the umpires are going to pick up and what they're not going to pick up for the rest of the game.
Some really nice driving from Georgia Marshall, then saw her get a nice position at the top of the circle. Cairns is unable to convert the points, and we'll see Maddie Hay throw in. Oh, Cassandra Radford, sorry. Very similar look about them. I'm thinking, I swear Maddie was on the sideline with her tracksuit. And that's obviously because of A&L commitments, isn't it?
Yes, I would say so.
So she's got restricted play time. Obviously, they don't want to burn her out. Playing with the A&L Giants this year as a vice captain there.
Yes. And 2 games a weekend.
Yeah.
So you don't need another one during the middle of the week.
Ebony Bernard looking for an option. Oh, wow. McLaren was able to nab that, but then lost it. Katie Maguire with the ball. Bounce past. Maddie and Woods and Eaton. And we'll see Dignan take the shot in front.
Yes. She does have a very strong hold. She's a very good target for the feeders.
Shelby Mallon working hard. She'll get the ball here. Oh, what a great cut and drive from Maddie Eden. But it hasn't come off the Stingrays' way. You see Nick Stiles with the ball.
Yeah, great defensive pressure for her to keep moving her feet around to force that penalty.
Really interesting to see Nick Stiles move over to Erna as well, considering she's played so much netball with the St George club, and she had 2 great years with UTS with her sister in the defensive circle and Cara Stiles as well. But apparently she just wanted a change, and Jen Wright said she's very happy to have her on her side because she's a formidable opponent, so rather have her on the team than against.
Yes, she's very good. I've played with her when I played for the Waratahs this year, and I found her really easy to play with, and she just gets so much ball and can just
Is that because she knows her role so well?
Yeah, I think so, definitely, and she's just very good at communicating with each other, like with the other person, and yeah.
A lot of bodies on the ground early. Alicia Cairns has popped up the top of the circle. Georgia Marshall's got it now. Bills will go to the right side of the court.
A little left-handed shot. Both goal attacks from the Hawks have been left-handed tonight.
I wonder if it's the training. Maybe they're ambidextrous.
Yeah. Maybe they only pick a left-hand goal attack.
Marshall to Bills. Pops one up to Cairns, who does well. Stingray sandwich. And she just was able to nab the ball in the middle. Finishes the effort with a goal. So Stingrays leading by 2 goals. It's quite interesting having talked to Maria Lynch about this Stingray squad this year, because apparently they've got a whole new lineup of shooters. So a very new looking team when it comes up to their scoring end. But all of those players have played with the New South Wales under-19s team this year. So obviously there's some familiarity there, which does help.
Yeah.
So Maddie Eaton, Shelby Mallon, who's playing wing attack. Beatrice Dignan, who we've talked about a little bit already, in goal shooter. And then Lily Gorman-Brown, who is also on the court in wing defence. They were all part of the New South Wales under-19s team this year. Came 3rd overall down in Adelaide in April.
I think that's one of the hardest things a coach can coach as well, is combinations. It's hard to get new people to come together so quickly. So I think having that experience of them playing together would make her job a little bit easier.
The other thing the Stingrays have got, which works in their favour, is depends which way you look at it. They've got 3 A&L players this year. They've got Tony Anderson, who's actually not in the country at the moment. She's over playing English Super League.
Lucky her.
Living the netball dream. He's got Maddie Hay, who's, as we mentioned, vice captain at the Giants. And Gorman Brown is also playing for the New South Wales Waratahs. So it must be a little bit easier to coach those players, having the experience that they do and in the professional setup that they've been in. But it also harpers them a little bit because obviously we mentioned that Hay can only have limited time on the court. So they can't use the full potential of players that they have at the moment. But when that competition finishes up in July, everyone will be able to play as many quarters as they like.
Yeah, it'll definitely, the back end of this season will definitely be very strong as all the players will come back. I think even some of the girls in the SSN will come back. I think Claire O'Brien definitely might be coming back in her. She always loves to keep playing netball. She doesn't really like having an off season.
She's a funny one because she was so fantastic watching she plays for the UTS Sparks, and she was so fantastic watching the last 2 seasons. You're right, she did play when she could last year, despite juggling all her Swifts commitments. But we know her as Cobb on here.
Yeah,
thanks to Paige Hadley. She dubbed her in for that one.
Yes,
Seems to be a bit of a character herself, though, Cobb.
Yeah, she is. She is a funny one. I think Paige and Abby and Cobb had to do a film thing the other day, and Cobb thought she had the correct lines. I think it was supposed to be you wake up early and finish late, but Cobb said you wake up late and you finish early, and I think she thought that she was so correct that she said it with a straight face and she didn't even realise that she said the wrong thing.
How funny.
She's definitely a very funny character.
So the Stingrays are up 7-5. And despite a very young team, they've certainly been pretty dominant in this game, although Hawks going to go back-to-back here and make it 7-6, 1-goal difference. The other link with A&L for this team is that their coach, Maria Lynch, is assistant coach at the Giants. So she's got good links with Maddie Hay and Tony Anderson. Probably helps when it comes to coaching them in Premier League as well.
Yes, definitely would.
And unfortunately, Danae Van Tack suffered a pretty serious ankle injury in the last week of pre-season. So she's still probably actually 8 weeks away, they think. But they look like they're doing really well here on the court tonight, and time will tell whether this young side can get the job done without those experienced players. Maddie Eaton just pops it over the top now to Dignan, who's looking for an option. She'll go back to Mallon in the same pocket. It's a bit of a slow motion loss of the ball there.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think Maddie could believe it.
I know.
McLaren, Marshall, Bernard. Marshall to Cairns, standing tall in front. Little tip back in. I think her foot was out. Yes, it was. Stingray's ball.
Yes.
Coming across the court now.
Seems to be good pressure back here.
Oh, that's the wrong player. Happens, doesn't
it?
Yeah. I mean, these two colours are not that dissimilar.
No.
But a little bit of a doozy there. And they'll pay for it with a goal. 7-all. This quarter's gone quite fast. There's just over 3 minutes left. Bernard Bills. Cairns able to find good space on the side of her player.
Yeah, she's getting in front. She is a strong target as well for the girls to give the ball to.
Eaton now. Long bomb to Mallon. Easily brought in. There's some good players on this court. Dignan. Strong. Through.
Nice
I think
shot.
you're right. Not only are these two shooters opposite ends tall, but they're very strong.
Yeah. And it's so easy to have someone, you know, there's so much pressure and you can just give the ball just like that. Just makes your workload less, which means you can do more in defence to get the ball back.
But it's also a really nice run of play then, because obviously these Hawks players have been playing together a long time. Have largely the same team as last year. There's only been a few that have come and gone in between the 2 seasons, and they just really preempt where the other person's going to end up really well. So they're almost one step ahead of the Stingrays sometimes heading up the court, because they're able to put the ball where they want them to be.
Yeah.
Good tip from Jess Grant. Ebony Bernard quickly moving up the court. McLaren, long bomb. It ends up with Marshall.
There's that quick ball movement, like you said, just letting the ball go.
But also some trust in their players, because there's been some risky passes as well, some really loopy ones. Marshall calling for it. Little fake dummy, and then gives it to Cairns. Smart play.
Yeah, getting the ball onto the circle edge makes the feed a lot easier, which a lot of coaches, I'm sure, would always say that they want their feeders to be on the circle edge.
Oh, that was fantastic play by the Erna Hawks. Little tip from, I believe it was Jess Grant, giving the ball to herself, collecting it on the other side of the post, and then able to move it up the court. So they've actually taken the lead, the Hawks. They now lead by 3 goals, 11-8, with less than a minute on the clock. A lot of space between all these players. They know their channels really well. Smooth play from the Stingrays. And Maddie Eaton will take a free shot here. Back to 2, 20 seconds. Hawks centre. Great win from Marshall. We've seen a few missed shot from Cairns now, but she's always there for the rebounds, following up.
Definitely. Doesn't really matter if you miss, if you get the rebound, does it?
No, that's right. The goal is all that matters.
Exactly.
You are correct, Kate.
Exactly.
So the Hawks are up 12-9 and lead by 3 at the first break. What are your first impressions of this competition, Kate?
I think it's you can tell that it's the first quarter of the season. I think there's a lot of just miscommunication and just a little bit of loose balls going too far or not far enough. But I think the pressure's awesome, and I think the next 3 quarters are going to be very exciting.
Now, forgive me, I haven't actually checked this, but have you played A&L before?
Yes.
Yes, so you mentioned before you played with the Waratahs, but did you play back down in Victoria too?
Yeah, so I played for Vic Fury for, I think, 2 years, and I also played for Northern Territory Storm.
Interesting.
Yeah,
right,
so
okay.
I was an import, as they would call it. I played with them for a season, which was very, very interesting, because coming from Victoria, it was very... obviously, we won all the time. But yeah, being at the Storm, it was definitely eye-opening and a good experience, because I still got to play against all the best players. So it was just a massive, learning curve for myself. But yeah, I played with Vic Fury last year, and the year before we won in 2016 here in Sydney on this court, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, which was exciting. And then last year I missed out on the finals because I was travelling with the Vixens. So, yeah, A&L is just such an amazing pathway, I think, for the SSN, and it's definitely something that we can use as well. If us girls don't get on the court, we drop back and we get to play A&L with some of the girls.
And what is the level of competition like in the A&L? Because not many people would have access to watch these games. So I don't think much of it's televised, to be honest with you, if any of it. You sort of have to rock up and watch them. So we, as a public, we don't know what these A&L games are like. So can you just explain the difference maybe between Super Netball and that? Is there much of a difference at all?
It's just, I think, the experience, and everyone in A&L wants to play SSN, so it's not as if...
Is that because you're pushing towards the pinnacle? Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone, it's people that are trying to make it to the SSN, so there's always people that are close, so it's always such great skill and amazing talent to watch, and it's always exciting, and definitely if anyone can go and watch it, because, you'll be amazed at some of the plays, and there's always players there that are amazing, and definitely get down to watch that.
Well, you've talked it up, and I believe that there's 2 New South Wales Waratahs games happening this weekend, so that's great. So if you can and you want more information about the competition and the tickets and whatnot, jump onto the Netball New South Wales website. But currently the New South Wales Waratahs are sitting 3rd out of the 8 teams. They've won 5 of their 8 games. They've lost the last 2 games in round 4 here at the Janae Netball Centre, unfortunately, last weekend to the Tasmanian Magpies. Now, I want to talk about them for a second because I find it so interesting that they're sitting on top of the ladder. Should I be surprised? I just would never have tipped
Tassie.
Yeah, and that sounds horrible, but I just wouldn't have tipped them to be the ladder leaders at this stage.
No, so Tasmanian Magpies are affiliated with Collingwood Netball, so they all of their training partners, which are so 5 or 6 of them are Victorian. So, and then there's a couple of Tassie girls, but then obviously so we played Collingwood on the weekend, and then the Waratahs played the Tassie Magpies, and so Shay Brown, Alice Teague-Neild, and who else dropped back? Mel Bragg, who debuted on the weekend as well, dropped back into play A&L. So they've got a very good list, and obviously Victoria being strong in netball, they have a lot of strong players, which, and Jane Cook, who was with the Fury, she's moved over and she's 6'5", so she's like,
wow,
almost 200 centimetres, so she's very hard to beat, so that is why they are on top of the ladder at the moment.
So they've got some help from their super netball team in that aspect, which is legal.
Definitely.
They're allowed to do that, but that would be
are.
why. That makes sense. Thank you for explaining that.
That's okay.
We're going to continue on with A&L chat in the next break. So Maddie Eaton's got the ball now. Stingrays making a move for trying to get the first goal of this quarter, but it's been a good turnover by the Erna Hawks. Grant coming back to McLaren. McLaren stuck. Bit of a wayward pass, and Jess Grant luckily has been able to tip it back into Styles. That's good backing up from their team there, but it could have been a mistake. Cairns, Marshall now over the top. Bills is there with some free space underneath the post, and they'll get the first goal. 13-9.
They were lucky to keep that ball in.
Definitely.
Yeah. There was only really one option bringing that out of defence then.
Some quick scoring again with some long passes. Nice work by Katie Maguire in goal defence Stingrays outfit. It isn't easy coming up against Cairns, who's a little bit taller. It's always hard to defend a taller shooter.
It is.
Drive from Shelby Mallon for the centre pass. Maddie Eden just hesitant to take the ball, and it results with Erna ending up with the pass. Jess Grant here now. Bernard. Marshall all over the top. That was a bit of a risky pass. It's a good really match up here between Cassandra Radford and Alicia Cairns too. Alicia Cairns is usually winning the contest, but she's definitely being challenged by Radford. And we see her get a rebound here. Turn over the Stingrays.
I think it's the little things that count for a defender. You can't win every ball, and I think Radford, she's really contesting every ball, making Cairns work for it, which is really important as the game goes on.
Oh, we're all stuck in a clump. Beatrice Dignan finds some space and adds a goal to the Stingrays tally. 14-10, they're down by 4. We've had almost 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Oh, good contest here.
Good front position, just a little bit short.
So right, she picks up the rebound. Oh.
She'll get another go.
It's the tip off the Erna Hawks player, gives the Sutherland Stingrays the ball back. Mallon, good drive. Maddie Eden's got all the skills. And Mallon, edge of the circle. She'll just drop it down for Eaton. Woods, fast pass. Eaton just driving through the backspace near the post. She hasn't been able to convert it. So the Erna Hawks gifted an opportunity here. Jess Grant just pushing into the backspace to find some clean area to nab the ball. Marshall calling for it, so is Cairns. There's a little way out. She's going to attempt the shot anyway. Well done.
Nice shot.
15-10, they're up by 5. Little tip from Marshall into the hands of McLaren. Nice teamwork from the Erna Hawks.
Marshall's had very strong drives down the attacking end, and I think she's been a real option all the time.
Yeah, she's made her presence known, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
So we've seen a little momentum shift here. The Stingrays started out of the blocks really strong, and now the Hawks have sort of used their experience and their familiarity with all the players to sort of rein it back in, not play anything
too fancy.
Yeah, that's right. Just stuck to their game plan, and eventually it started to come back their way. Maddie Woods gives it to Maddie Eden. Maddie to Maddie. And Beatrice will finish the job. 5 goals difference, less than 10 minutes of play.
Nice drive to the opposite side.
Oh, that was good preempting. Eaton and Mallon. They're working really nicely together.
They are.
Loose ball. Yeah. Nick Stars is quick to jump on it.
Yes, Nick Stars is one very competitive person, I think.
It's lucky that both her and her sister are defenders, I guess, because imagine if they'd come up against each other. Now she swap teams. Although I guess the competitiveness will translate into Team B team as well.
Surely.
Cross court. Lily Gorman-Brown with a long ball. Shelby Malin running back, able to rein it in. Maddie Woods to Maddie Eaton. How many times am I going to get to say Maddie to Maddie today?
Plenty, I'm sure.
There's 3 Maddies in this Stingrays team. Isn't that fascinating?
That is.
Oh, preempting the shot, and it doesn't pay off. Radford picks it up. Can the Stingrays use this? There's been a few turnovers now that they haven't been able to turn into points. Lily Gorman-Brown just dropping back, using the outside space, snap the ball. Woods, McGuire into Marshall. Lily Gorman-Brown shouting out some instructions. Woods goes over the top. Dignan, she'll add another. 16-13.
Lovely pass by Lily then to just get it over the mess onto the circle.
I love that expression, over the mess.
Over the mess.
Eaton driving for the ball with eyes on the ball only. Jess Grant drops back and is pushed out of play. Nick Stiles is on to Maddie Eaton though. And she's been pulled up for contact. Marshall, pocket. Will come back to Bernard. Quick passing. Swing of the ball to Bills. Over the top now to Cairns. Underneath. 7 minutes of play, 4 goals difference. I'm really enjoying watching Marshall in this game because even if she, isn't the first person in line to get the ball, she's really working hard off the ball. You can see her just cut and drive constantly, just trying to find free space all the time.
Definitely.
Cairns, nice talk between the shooters.
Yeah, and I think that's the role of a wing attack is to always make sure you're moving and always be an option, which I think, Marshall is doing very well at the moment.
Maddie Woods comes into the middle channel. Maddie Eaton, Mallon, Dignan. Free shot. The mood's flattened a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's because we have so many Stingrays fans on the sideline and the momentum sort of shifted.
Could be. I think they have to make their own energy at the moment.
What do you mean by that? That's interesting.
I think when you're on the court, you can only be, you have to be responsible for what's going on the court, and you have to be responsible for, creating intensity and like energy by a voice and being a presence and, giving good vibes and high-fiving and all of that stuff which lifts each other.
Hold ball. Nice defensive pressure from the Erna Hawks. How difficult is that when you're, say, coming up against a Collingwood netball and you're playing in their stadium? How difficult is that if you're down, head sort of drooping a little bit?
Oh, it's definitely hard because, when you're at home, you always have your own home crowd, which can always boost you. So I think it's really important that, you keep connected with your teammates, and I think that's the way that you can bring your own energy by making sure that an intercept is celebrated instead of, turned back over. Like, you've got to make sure you enjoy the little things. Yeah.
So it starts individually and then grows.
Yeah. But,
Billy Gorman Brown now. Eaton, Dignan. Straight to the post every time. There's no question about it. 21-15, the lead's pushed out to 6. 4.5 minutes of play. Marshall is just going hard at everything. And she's up against Lily Gorman Brown. So, she's up against a great player and she's standing out. So it's a credit to her.
Definitely.
Mallon was calling for it. I don't know why Woods couldn't hear her. Eaton. Woods, top of the circle. This time she finds Mallon. Eaton around the back, sneaky.
She does love a little baseline drive the last few times.
She's a bit unpredictable, Maddie Eaton.
Yes, and she's very fast and very quick.
Oh, well done.
Gets a turnover.
And that's tough because McLaren was just going for the ball then too, but unfortunately just
the wrong
touched
position.
in. That's right, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. Hopefully they can convert this to bring it.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Eaton, little way out on the diagonal.
Sure.
They're 5 down, just over 3 minutes.
It's their centre pass as well, which is always great.
A win.
Yeah.
Oh, body's in the way.
Always going everywhere.
Bill's pulled up for that. Oh no, not Bill's, McLaren. There we go. Eaton. She's going to use Shelby Mallon on the side. Although this penalty will be taken inside the circle. Outside channel. It's tough, isn't it? Tough call.
Yes.
It's been a good contest so far. And Dignan's just come over the top of Jess Grant in that situation.
Yeah, good front position by Grant then.
It's sometimes tough as a defender because, you're the obvious one to be pulled up when there's contact, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. But she had front position and she went up with 2 hands, which, I think in any situation, if you go up with the ball with 2 hands and you're in front, you should.
Oh, how about that intercept from Katie Maguire?
Came out of nowhere.
This is end-to-end stuff here. The Hawks are up by 5 goals, 22-17, less than 2 minutes, as Nick Stiles takes the throw-in from the sideline.
Yes. It's a very low-scoring game at the moment. Lots of defensive pressure, I think. Which is creating a lot of balls going everywhere.
There is no structure whatsoever about this play.
There's no easy passes at all. No, doesn't matter how you win the game as long as you win the game.
It's a gritty game, isn't it? It really is. It's grinding.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty.
Nice work and positioning from McLaren. Sorry, Marshall, just to get her body free. As we see Cairns now switch back up over the top of the circle.
Nice
Fields
feed.
has got it.
Beautiful.
Jen Wright on screen. Won a premiership with the Manly Warringah Sapphires last season. And her team got there in the year before that, just beaten by the Sutherland Stingrays right at the end. Believe it was 1 goal, so There was redemption certainly to be had. And now she's at Erna. Apparently she started at Erna, her coaching, and did so there for years, so she's very happy to be back.
Oh, very good.
Eaton over the top. Good competition between Jess Grant and Dignan.
Good follow up.
She couldn't stop herself. No. She was like a wind-up toy. All right, Marshall to Bills. Kansas calling for it. She's going to use the backspace. Oh, no. Cassandra Radford did really well then because she could sense she was going to go into the backspace and got nice and close to the body side on. Some really smart play from both sides. Oh, there we go. Half-time. 24-17, the Hawks lead the Stingrays.
It was very fast.
So they're up by 7 goals. What do you have to say about that quarter?
I think it was, still a bit messy as we were talking about. Very gritty. Everyone just wants the ball, and I think, lots of turnovers, lots of intercepts, lots of balls flying everywhere. But, I think Hawks are, in control at the moment, and Stingrays are just still trying to find those connections, I think, with the young girls.
They're still fighting, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think sometimes looking back at the score, it's not really reflecting what's happening in the game.
Definitely not. You wouldn't expect that. I think each team's had the ball the same amount almost, and I think, just that the Hawks are maybe cherishing the ball a little bit more, and they've got Georgia Marshall's been a very good option, and she's been a very consistent option, which has allowed them to get the ball into the circle a lot easier.
When we come back to A&L, I mentioned that there's going to be 2 New South Wales games in Sydney this weekend. So they'll play here at the Janae Netball Centre on Saturday at 3 p.m. and then they're going to play at the Key Centre at 3:30 on Sunday. So they're coming up against the Southern Force, who are currently in 7th place. So don't like to, be too cocky about things, but it should be 2 good games for New South Wales. So if you'd like to come down, make sure you get tickets. The Canberra Giants, who we've been talking about because there's some players in this competition, they're coming 5th. And with so many Premier League players, in that setup, it's quite interesting. So they're playing against the Western Sting on Sunday and Monday over in Perth. And I think it's going to be a great battle too, because the Sting are in 4th place. They're all tied on points. And the only difference is the percentage by a very small margin. So the Sting have just played an extra game. Having watched the Sting, and they won last year, don't forget that, and Sophie Garvin was picked up because of that,
yes,
your teammate now. What do you have to say about them? Because, New South Wales netball fans might not know much about the Western Sting and sort of where they sit in the netball landscape at the moment.
Well, with Fever being so competitive at the moment, I believe the Sting would be as competitive because a lot of their training partners would be in that team. So a lot of those girls would be training with the Fever, which, along Courtney Bruce and Stacey Francis, I'm sure those defenders would be tough. And, with I'm sure I think Kaylee Stent has dropped back last week or a couple of games as well. So they've got such a good target as well. Left-handed shooter as well, which is always hard.
They keep coming up.
They do, and they're always so difficult to play against because they do everything on the other side of the court, which is not normal. So they're definitely a very strong team. Sophie Garvin was there last year, but we've gobbled her up now, so we've got her.
She was the grand final MVP, I believe.
Yeah, and the league MVP as well. She shot the most goals in that any goal has ever shot in the A&L, so she would be a massive loss to the Sting. So but I'm sure they've got lots of other players there that have been playing really well at the moment.
So we mentioned they actually won the competition last year. They beat Victoria, your old team, 64-47 in the final. Did you watch this game? Did you have much to do with it?
I was on a plane, so I didn't even get to watch it. So I was in Adelaide.
Really nervous.
Yeah, I was. I was pretty gutted that I wasn't able to be there, but I was, with the Vixens, I was able to sit on the bench for them, which was an awesome experience. But I was gutted for the girls. So much hard work goes into these games and all the training sessions and stuff, and to travel all the way to Perth as well and to lose is a bit. But Perth Sting have never won a major title. So I think it's credit to them. They really worked hard, and Soph was massive in that as well.
So let's talk about Super Netball now. We mentioned a little bit in the early games today that you're sort of loving your time at the Swifts and you're really enjoying that. So you come off a loss this week when you come up against, you beat Collingwood, came off a loss from the West Coast Fever. What was the shift in mentality coming up against Collingwood? Because obviously, you know, that went from being a pretty big loss to a massive win over people that are very experienced in that team.
I think we just recognised that we lost the Fever game because of silly mistakes that we did, and it was in our control. Like, we turned over the ball enough. Like, it was just our silly mistakes, and we went in that week like full guns blazing. Like, we were so committed, and training session was just like on another level. Like, we were just so. We were not going to lose to Collingwood, but like, we went in and we hated losing by 9 goals against Fever. Like, everything, the momentum just shifted, and I think it was a real learning curve for us to travel all the way over there and to lose. I think our preparation we can learn from. I think, so our preparation to Collingwood was a lot better and a lot more, we were a lot more focused, and so, yeah.
Frioni Ackles said one of the big things the Swifts worked on between that Fever and Magpies game was converting the turnovers. So you were winning back the actual turnovers you were making, which is something you've just mentioned. And shooter Stan Wallace got player of the match. Now, tell us about her performance, because she was up against Shani Layton, and that's never an easy feat. So to come away as, you know, player of the match and stand out against such a good player, she must have been outstanding.
Yeah, she came with just a fire in her belly, I think, against Collingwood, and I think Sam thrives off the challenge, and that's just her in a Trinidad and Tobago way. Like, she just has respect for netball and whoever she plays against, so she just went out with, I think she just enjoyed it and was just played with freedom and played the Sam Wallace game that she can play, that, you know, we all know that she can turn a game like that, and with her, like, she just does all these cool moves and stuff that you don't expect her to do, and it's just like it can boost you, like it can boost everyone, your whole team. Like her little jump shot that she did, I reckon Sophie Garvin and I were like almost doing backflips on the bench because we were so excited. But she's very, like, she can definitely lift a team.
There's been a lot said about international players in this competition, especially leading into it, and we're not going to get into that, but what is it like playing with these international players? You just mentioned that there's a bit of international flavour through Sam Wallace, some cool tricks that you hadn't seen before. What is it like actually being in the environment with them?
I think it's pretty cool because, like, they both bring, like Helen Housby and Sam Wallace, they both bring two completely different games. Like, she's so calm and so chilled, but she can get so feisty as well. Like, she's so competitive, and I think training against someone like that only makes us better as well. Like, they're just so, I think it's, to have them in our team, international players, like, it's pretty cool, I think,
To make friends as well from all over the
globe. I would never have thought that I'd be very good friends with someone from Trinidad and Tobago or one of the girls.
Maybe a pen pal, but never like real life form.
No, I'm excited to make sure in the off season I go and visit Sam in Trinidad and for her to cook me lots of nice food.
So it's been, I was just going to say a quick point to start the quarter off, but we've seen a mistake come through here, and Jess Grant's got the intercept. Shelby Mallon trying to win the ball back straight away. We hope that Laura McLaren's okay. There's just a little bit of a collision there. She looks right. She's strong. Yeah. Just quickly, obviously the game's happening. We're going to get back to that. But it seems like you had a little bit of an impact on that game too. So having read the match report, you took a intercept in wing defence in the last quarter of the game that really helped the Swifts to secure the win. So you got a special mention in the match report. So really? Obviously you must have been a great player out there on court. What did you feel like? How did you feel you played on the weekend?
I was pretty nervous, to be honest. Wing defence is like a position that I'm not. Like growing up, I was goal defence, goalkeeper. So wing defence, I will always say, is not my strongest position. And I'm still learning a lot. And Bryony and Anita have helped me a lot with that. So I was pretty nervous, but Yeah, I was just so excited to be out there. I'm just loving playing netball at the moment. So, and I think having Maddie Turner and Maddie Proud next to me, like, it's just so much fun having your friends out there. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm just having so much fun. It's probably...
Is it all netball at home, or do you ever sort of have like a, that's it, ban, no netball talk for now?
No, we're pretty good. Maddie Proud and I, and even Turner, we're all pretty similar. We like to turn off from netball, and we just like to watch Netflix or, you know, or the Net Chicks and Chill, which Sophie Garvin and Maddie Proud will love that I've mentioned right now.
We were going to bring it up anyway later. We were.
But yeah, we're pretty, we love non-netball things, like going to the beach and just like hanging out and just doing nothing. Yeah.
That was a really nice play from Shelby Mallon to Maddie Woods there, just putting a bounce but also preempting where she was going to end up. So more on Kate and Super Netball in the next break, but Ali Miller's come on, your friend.
Yes.
She's just scored a goal. She's in goal shooter now.
Yes, and Ali as well will be a strong target. She has, from last year, I think she's improved a lot as well from not being in her team last year and then training with her and stuff. I think I've seen a massive improvement.
And she's obviously a Swifts
training partner.
As you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. So should be interesting.
Oh, lovely tip. That's great play. Kate Maguire was one of the players awarded the Coaches Award at the end of last season, and you can see why. Some really nice technique about the outside hand there. I don't think there's any changes to this Stingrays side from what I can see, and it looks like the Erna Hawks just have that one change with Ali Miller. So the Stingrays, they've scored 3 goals already this quarter and trying to make a third happen. Erna foiling their plans, moving up through the court. Little smile from Bill. She's still enjoying herself, which is nice to see. That was a fantastic front cut.
Lovely shot.
Driving forward and then coming in front of all the mess that you mentioned before. Just cutting it out.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get rid of it.
Gorman Brown. Woods in the pocket. Offloads to Eden. Oh. That was beautifully read by Jess Grant. She's having a fantastic game.
She is. That's like 2 intercepts in a row there. Good take by Ali then. Lovely shot. I think there's a little bit more patience in the attacking end this quarter. Definitely with the Hawks.
Realising that they are in front and they just need to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we mentioned Jess Grant before. I actually remember talking to Jen Wright in the lead up to this match, and she was saying she's been particularly impressed with Jess Grant this season so far. And we're already in round 1, just the pre-season especially. She's 30 years old this year, and apparently she's in the prime of her life. Jen Wright's never seen her play better, so she thinks her and Nick are going to be a great defensive duo. And she said she's looking really strong for someone that's hobbling around usually. So fingers crossed, Jess Grant, no injuries this year, and you get to keep playing in your prime. Maddie Woods now over the top edge of the circle. Mallant, that was a strong feed. Ball over the top of her head, into Eden, into the net. 28-21, less than 10 minutes left in the championship quarter. The Hawks lead by 7. In front, Woods. Mallon over the top.
Such a good target, still just throwing it over the top and finishing it off too.
But also definitely I feel like Nick Stiles and Jess Grant have got smart about their play this quarter and last quarter, and they've really limited what Dignan's been able to do.
I think they've come off the body and pretended that the space has kind of been there, which has allowed them to get turnovers and to get tips off outside balls as well, because when they were stuck on the body, as a goaler, it's a lot easier for them to find space and for the feeder to throw it to them if they're someone's just right next to them.
So is that sort of a mental tactic in that Dignan believes that she's going to get the ball the same way, but because they're not so tight on her?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's harder for the feeders as well because they're unsure of where the defender actually is. As you can see, Nick Stiles is moving around.
Dignan has got it this time and she's in front. Little bobble as it heads through the net. 29-23. The Hawks are leading the Stingrays. Marshall again, strong drive for the centre pass. Bernard to Bills. Ali Miller, I swear she's smiling. She looks like she's enjoying herself too.
She would be.
The ball teases her, but it ends up through the net. Woods to Eden. Seeing Mallon trying to make a drive, but McLaren's doing well to hold her out of the play. And she's taken an intercept for it. That's nice work off the ball by McLaren. Little tip from Maddie Eden.
She falls offside.
Marshall. Split stance, offloading to Bernard. Miller. She'll join her teammate Bills. He's going to take it to the post and follow up with a second attempt. They're into the 30s, the Hawks, 31-23. The lead's pushed out a little bit now. So we're sort of seeing a toing and froing with the momentum of the Stingrays. It sort of comes and it goes. It's not there 100%. Oh, that was a risky feed.
Well, hopefully this can lift the Stingrays' momentum.
Maguire. Gorman Brown, looking.
Looks like there's only one option to the ball.
They're sort of all stuck and waiting for someone else to break.
Yeah.
Mallon way back behind. That has come off. I don't know how it happens. The ball should have been to Dignan.
It's a fast 3 seconds in.
And it's held ball, so good pressure from the Hawks. But you're right, it was a fast 3 seconds.
Yeah, but she gets it back.
Eaton was there too as a possibility, and they just tried to feed to Dignan. Jess Grant getting the better of her. Bills now in the pocket, offloads to Bernard. Oh, I don't think Ali Miller was prepared for that.
No, I don't think she was.
This was a desperate pass. Now, Bills keeps it in play. Marshall gives it back.
Good rebound by Ali Miller then.
Fingertips on it. And now giving a free shot. 32-23, lead really pushing out now. Still 5.5 minutes on the clock. Nice tip from Bernard.
Seem to just be getting their hands to everything, the Hawks.
No look past Maddie Eaton to Woods. Over the top now, Mallon. It's come out of her hands. And it'll be a free pass. Edge of the circle. What do you call that little pass, Kate? Sort of like the drop on the
drop,
dance.
yeah.
Drop?
Yeah, I would call it a drop.
You don't see it much in lower grade netball. It's only really the elite ranks that you sort of start to see pop up.
I think it's because you've got more room when you're at the lower grade, and as you get, higher and higher, the defenders get closer and closer, so you have to use your body more, which allows the drop to just like pop in the space in front of you.
And you need extra special tactics.
Yeah. Falling on the ball, that's another tactic.
That's right, you don't see that in grade netball either.
No.
It's almost at 10 goals, this lead for the Hawks. Maddie Eaton, strong drive for the ball. Woods, over the top. Jack in the box, Eaton, unable to pull the ball in. Stingrays have been given the ball in the circle anyway. So the Erna Hawks have done a little sneaky on us, and we actually haven't realised that defence and keeper have swapped over. Nick Stiles is actually playing sort of more involved now.
I think it's allowed Grant to come out and have a crack at some other balls as well. There's just so much pressure everywhere at the moment. No ball is too easy to get.
It's slowing down the play and making it stagnant.
There you go again.
And it just enforces that this is a very gritty game, like we said before. Although this isn't gritty, look at this. Beautiful run of play. Ali just struggling to get away from Katie Maguire, but found some space behind. The long arms definitely helped.
They do.
35-25, that lead is 10 goals now. 3 minutes of play before the final break. Miller, Marshall, little give. Tip from Maguire, sees it goes out. Bills, reset. Bernard. Nice work from Bills, just coming behind. Oh, and it goes in. She hasn't had as much luck taking it to the post in the last 15 minutes of play, almost 15 minutes of play. Throw in. Oh, no, free pass. Stingrays. There's the little drop pass Kate was talking about. Eaton decides to assist Dignan instead, and she'll take it to the post. Keeping it at 10 goals, 2 minutes on the clock. I think this last 15 minutes is going to be really interesting, whether we see the Stingrays come out with a new refreshed energy, or whether they sort of back off a little bit more now looking at the score.
Yeah, could be a couple of changes as well.
Are you ever watching the scoreboard when you're actually playing, or are you just so focused in the moment that you don't have time?
No, I think I'm always watching the scoreboard, whether or not it's to the time to see if I can have a break soon. But no, I always like to know what the score is to see if we're up or not. I think, it's something that we've been working on, is making sure that we're very time aware and always aware of what's on the scoreboard. So I think it's very important, because whether you have 3 minutes left or 10 seconds left, you might do different things with the ball. So I think it's important to see what the score is and see how much time's left as well.
To Miller, quick give, the short pass to Bills. This is getting too easy for the Hawks now. It's a bit one-sided. There's a call from Katie Maguire. Oh, quick. Stingrays turnover. Dignan's got it.
That was such a good pass.
Oh, well done. Incredible passage of play.
Fastest goal of the game so far, I think.
I'm not sure whether that was tactic or luck. I was really impressed, although Nick Stiles has picked it up. Miller, Marshall, Miller. Marshall, again Miller. Give and go 4 times. That's by pass back is one of the most famous things we say in netball. Yeah. Little tip from Woods, doesn't stop it getting to Marshall from the centre pass. Miller. She goes back to the top of the circle in Bernard, and now she's in front. Good position.
Nice shot. Bit more confidence there.
There we go. That's the end of the third quarter, 40-27. That lead really has pushed out now. And you found someone you know, giving a little wave.
Yeah, the 2 Swift girls in the back, Sarah Clow and Sophie Garvin. They actually work here, so they're venue staff. So
that's right. I do have in my notes a question to ask you about Sophie Garvin, so it's probably a good segue. Now, she does...
There they are on the screen now, Sophie and Sarah, just having a chat.
So Sophie apparently works with the New South Wales event staff here.
Yes, she does.
And I can't remember where I saw her say it, but it might have been on Netchicks, actually. It might have been Netchicks. And she says, I am the backbone of the Netball New South Wales team here. So she's been here a year and she's already claiming she's the backbone of the organisation. That's pretty funny, isn't it?
That is funny. That's Sophie Garvin for you. She'd claim everything. She claims that she's the just the Swift. What does she call it? The spirit of the Swift. I think she's like spirit captain or something. She claims. She's definitely a funny character, Sophie, and she's so funny.
And do you know where Net Chicks came from?
I think we were just like hanging around, and Sophie and Maddie get along really well, and they were just like, they have like these funny jokes, and they were just talking about making all these funny videos, and they were like, oh, why don't we make a vlog? And I think they were just, I don't even know how it came up with Net Chicks and Chill, but I think it's because it's like netball and two chicks and they're just chilling. So I think it was just easy to say Net Chicks and Chill.
I can't say I'm up to date with all the episodes, but I have watched episode 1, which is just absolutely hilarious when they pull out the red hats, the bucket hats, and they've got like the little strands of red hair coming down. Yeah, very funny. And also the intro when they're sort of introducing themselves, and it's all very like Die Hard or Mission Impossible with the music and the running. You need to check it out on YouTube if you haven't.
Oh, that is so funny.
So we've been very lucky to have Abby McCulloch on our commentary in the past. What is Abby like as a captain?
Oh, she's everything that you really want in a captain. She's so approachable, but she's got that hard side as well that, and she leads by example. Everything that she does is so like, to the full stop. Like everything's like she does that, and then she does extras. Like everything, she's just incredible, and she's such an amazing person as well. And she's just really great.
Has she been giving you any tips for the wing defence position? Because you're sort of sharing that one as well as moving into the circle in this season.
Yeah, she's been very good at trainings and stuff. She's always helping me out, and obviously, like when we do wing defence specific stuff, like we have to obviously play against each other a little bit. So I have to pretend to be a wing attack, and she has to pretend to be a wing attack. And she always gives me great feedback, and she's always giving me notes on whoever we're playing and stuff. So she's always done her homework and extras, so she's always helping me out and giving me that stuff.
So you're playing the Adelaide Thunderbirds this round. How are you preparing for that? How's that all going?
Yeah, good. So we're preparing for them like we would with any other team. We've been watching some footage of them and just making sure that, as I said previously, like we concentrate on ourselves and making sure that we, do the basics right, and then everything else will follow. So, just making sure that we don't make silly mistakes.
So that game will be on Channel 9 at 1 p.m. in New South Wales this Sunday. Mm-hmm. There's a big chance if you do play wing defence, you'll come up against Chelsea Pittman. Have you sort of had a look at how she plays and studied her a little bit?
Yeah, well, she played with Helen at the Com Games.
Yes, another gold medalist.
Yes, so she's, I have been watching some footage of her, and I've played against her a couple of, when we had a pre-season match here as well. So she's very, very fast and very creative, and she'll just let the ball go. So just making sure that I, use my footwork and use my creativity, I guess, in my game to get some turnovers off her.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
We've seen one change to the Stingrays. Pardon me. Alex Bolton has come on in wing defence.
Lily's gone into centre.
And so we've seen Maddie Woods head to the bench. Little tip from Dignan. Makes for teamwork between Malin. Oh. What about the teamwork from the defence in the Erna circle?
I don't even know who tipped that both at the same time.
3 players on 1. Would you have made those changes too to the Stingray side?
I think something had to change, definitely. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to wait and see if this change will be effective or not. Yeah, hopefully it sparks some energy and can create some turnovers and some flow down the court.
Styles free pass, gives it to Marshall. There's a lot of whistle happening at the moment. Bills. There we go, turnover. The Rays have done well on the rebounds. Bolton, Bradford, Maguire. Goes back to Radford. Now we've got Gorman Brown looking for an option. She goes lateral. Bolton, Maguire. Mallon, drop ball. No, she can't pick it up because...
Replay ball.
Yes. It's always a bit annoying when that happens, isn't it? Because you just accidentally drop it.
Yeah.
And then you know it's coming, the call's coming.
I know. It's a bit funny though, that rule. Sometimes it's if you have control of it, and then sometimes it's if you drop it and then you can pick it up because you haven't had control of it. I guess it's up to the umpire to call that sometimes.
Gorman Brown to Eden, to Gorman Brown again. She's top of the circle. Oh, McLaren's on the ground again. She's had a rough game. Dignan just with a whisker of her foot being out. Did well to bring the ball back into play. Mallon, other side of the court now, has a throw in. Eaton running through 2 players. Did well to get her body there. Dignan, strong. Pulls the ball in. Grant's caught outside. And she'll make it 29 for the Stingrays. There's still a fair bit of time. We've got over 11 minutes to play here, but there is a big difference in the score, and there's a turnover with the Erna Hawks. There has been a lot of turnover in the back end of the game.
There has been. I think Nick Stiles and Grant are just getting their combination working at the moment. There's been so many turnovers and switching. You think one person comes off and there's spaces there, but then the other one just comes through and flies through with the intercept.
Oh, unlucky. Out of the hands of Radford.
Good pick up there.
But they've got it back, the Rays. Bolton. Maguire, middle of the court, will give it to Mallon. Strong passes here. Eaton. She'll have to go back to Bolton on the transverse line. Little dummy from Shelby. Fortunately doesn't pull off, but...
I think the idea is there, just a bit of a ball placement in the wrong spot.
Jess Grant with another dummy herself. And she'll get the ball on the court now with a free pass. Nick Stiles is there, but she opts for McLaren. Bernard. The play is definitely slowed down now. Bolton. Keen to make an impression, playing up from the under-20s. Already played her game tonight, now filling in for the Opens. Mallon.
I was just about to say fresh legs, but she's not really fresh legs.
Not quite.
No.
Although they must relish in any opportunity they can to play up with these girls.
Oh yeah, definitely. Amazing experience, I think. They can learn a lot.
There is a clear pathway with this competition now. Under 20s, do your best. Try and make it into the Opens and then get discovered. We've seen plenty of people become training partners from this competition. Kira Austin. Who else? As you know, Ali Miller, New South Wales.
Yeah.
Claire O'Brien. Christina Bryce, who was at UTS.
Yeah. Well, Nick Deegs.
That's right.
Sophie Halpin.
Nick Deegs also captaining the Waratahs this year after winning the Premier League with Manly last year.
There you go. Losmore as well, who's one of our...
That's right, North Shore United. So there's so many players here.
Yeah.
And I think that also drives the under-20s to become like them because they can see the players right there. It's not like they're a faraway entity.
And having some of them drop back as well would be even better. Yeah.
Moving fast now, Erna up the outside channel of the court. Inwards to Marshall. Bernard. Miller gives it back to Marshall, and she'll take it off her again. Oh, little bit of unbalanced, but that's okay. Shot still went through, 44-30. Look at these lovely ladies all rugged up. Good on them. So committed to the team. Bills, good pass. Lovely take from Bernard. Over the top, and there's a good little tip in there from Maguire. The Stingrays will pick the ball up here. Nice positioning from Radford, able to get the ball away from Marshall. Mallon quits Dignan. When things go to plan, or that wasn't really to plan, but you know, when their thinking really starts to
that's just Grant's confidence. She's coming out for everything at the moment.
What I was trying to articulate but was doing badly is that when things work for the Stingrays, like that little surprise passage of play, it's beautiful. It just clicks, it's there. You get the glimpse of that, and then sometimes it just goes missing.
Yeah, I think it's consistency which has failed them for this game. Yeah, because there definitely has been sparks of exciting passages of play. Yeah. 7
minutes on the clock. Bills gives it off to Miller, and she's under the post. McLaren, long ball to Miller, cuts out all of the middle. Marshall.
Georgia Marshall on the top of the circle again.
She's always there, isn't she?
She is.
She must be frustrating to defend.
Yeah.
Bolton, now to Mallon. Bounce pass to Maddie Eaton. Over the top. Oh, Nick Stiles read that play beautifully, but so has Lily Gorman-Brown and Jess Grant. 2 turnovers in the space of 30 seconds. Bills up and over to Miller, split stance, and she'll step in. Shot taken, 46-31. They lead the Stingrays. She likes that little dummy Shelby.
She does. Definitely does.
Gorman-Brown. Eaton as a call. Outside, the top of the circle. Little drop. Jess Grant's putting the pressure on.
She is. I think the experience is coming through for the end of this game for the Hawks. I think, their maturity and their age definitely shown.
Oh, lovely rollover by Ali Miller. Couldn't make it work. No. Couldn't pull the ball in, but it was beautiful.
I think just some silly mistakes for the Stingrays can, turn it into a 14-goal difference.
And as we said, they started so strong.
They did.
And that might have been a bit of excitement, a bit of knowing that they've got something good this year.
Yeah.
But then the Erna Hawks are able to just calmly go,
it's okay.
That's all right, we'll get back into this.
Yeah. 60 minutes of netball. There's the
Sophie
girls again.
Garvin, Sarah Clow. Looking cold up there. It's freezing down here too. We're not even into winter. Gorman-Brown looking at the edge of the circle to feed. Dignan strong on the body, held on to that one despite a challenge from Grant, and she'll take the rebound as well. Nice work, Beatrice Dignan. 46-34. They're not giving up the Stingrays.
No, they're not. I think that's always good to see with a young team as well, that they just keep fighting.
Cut out pass. Marshall to Miller.
And through her arms.
It's like the nutmeg of netball, right?
Yeah. I love that.
Maybe we call it the netmeg, something lame like that. Eaton in front.
Go on the net chick segment. The
I don't know if I'm funny enough for those girls. Certainly you could see Helen Houseby sort of toying with them a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Helen loves a good laugh.
Oh, and we've seen a step. That's uncommon. Premier League. Katie Maguire gives it off to Radford, looking for options. She's got one in Alex Bolton. Where do they go next? Maguire, but so is McLaren. Who's been pulled up here?
McLaren has.
Interesting call too. Clear challenge from both players.
Looks a little bit winded on the ground.
Oh, a little bit of a...
Getting some sweat wiped off the court.
That's nice work, Tegan Hollins. Well done. Played your under-20s game, but now you're out here wiping the sweat off the court. Good teamwork. All right, back into it. Maguire gives it off to Gorman-Brown. Bolton now. Shelby Mallon, little tip. Oh, keeps it in play. Dignan's lost it, and it's ended up in the Erna Hawks' hands. Nick Stiles is smart, gets it straight out of there. Now we're up in their goal third.
There's George Marshall again.
She knows where her position is, doesn't she?
She does.
Plays her role very well. Miller fed beautifully under the post. Yeah. 48-35. There's 3 minutes to play here. You'd expect them to creep up over 50 if they continue on. Nice work by Dignan, seeing she needed to pop out and give an option. Now, Gorman-Brown will just try to give it over the top, but Jess Grant was too smart for that play. Long ball. McLaren to Styles, comes off. Marshall now, give and go.
Nice take in the middle of the ring.
You can see Jay Rickard-Bell nice and rugged up on the sideline. Missed opportunity. She's still smiling, Ellie Miller.
That will never go. Umpire's been pretty good today.
Yeah, they've kept it clean.
Yeah, definitely.
Mallon driving through beautifully in the air. Now we've got Gorman-Brown. Oh, there was a tip from Berner, but it wasn't enough to stop the play. Ball ends up at our side here. Dignan going to get a free shot. Grant out of play. Beatrice Dignan is someone who really came out and impressed me in the first quarter. She was strong. She was... Wow. This defensive end on the Erna Hawks is just clicking so well.
It is. And even in attack, that flow down the court just then, that went down so nicely.
And you can see the subs are all happy with that.
Yeah.
Cairns, Coleman.
Yeah. But yes, Dignan did impress us in the first quarter.
She did. And then the Erna Hawks really got smart about their defensive work around her.
Yeah, so I wonder what the coaches said to them at quarter time.
I wish we had the same mics as the Super Netball, just to sort of stick him in the middle and find out all the goss.
Yeah.
For now, we'll just guess. McLaren picks the ball up. She's done well tonight. It's been tough for her, I think. She's just kept going.
She has.
Bills. Marshall, again, top of the circle, always there. Miller. Bills make something of it. Oh, she's kept it in play. Well done, Ali Miller. She's running hard, but Katie Maguire is doing really well to defend her, although it looks like she's been pulled up on this occasion. Bills, free shot. 10 seconds of play left in this game, and it's an Erna Hawks centre.
See if they can finish it off.
Cut and drive from Marshall. She'll go over the top to Ali Miller.
She'll have a shot.
Oh, well done! Right on the buzzer, that one counts. Miller makes it 53 for the Hawks to the Stingrays 36. A huge win in the first round. I think they'd be very happy with that. The Stingrays have been a strong presence in this competition, winning the first year, making the finals last year. But tonight the Erna Hawks have been far too good. 53-36, they've beaten them. We'll come back in a second, wrap it all up very shortly. Well, it was a strong start for the Erna Hawks in the Opens competition tonight, Kate Eddy. What's your overall thoughts of that game we've just seen on the Showcourt here?
I think the Hawks definitely showed their maturity towards the end of that game. I think Nick Stiles and Grant just overcome the big target that there was in the first quarter, and I think they, with experience, they changed it up and they turned over so much ball in the end, which converted to a 17-goal win.
If you had to pick a standout, who would you pick out of those two? Or maybe the whole team, maybe that's a bit more fair.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. I think Grant or Georgia Marshall, they were definitely, Georgia Marshall was very consistent and always an option, but Grant just got so much ball and it was very exciting to see as a 30-year-old. Almost 30, I can't believe that.
We spoke about inconsistency being a problem for the Stingrays. Is that something that you would tell them to improve on when it comes to next round and moving on from here?
Yeah, inconsistency I think is always going to happen, and I think at the Swifts that's something that we're still working on. I think it's just making sure that, you stick to the basics and you do the basics right, which obviously will help everything else. Yeah.
So you've seen 2 games of Premier League netball now, under 20s and Opens. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's exciting. I think it's very good to watch, and so much skill, and it's exciting to watch. Good, very good skills.
Well, please come back because it's been fantastic to have you on the mic tonight. Just wrapping up all the other games happening here. So, as you know, the Hawks beat the Stingrays 53-36, 17 goals difference on the Showcourt. GWS beat the Panthers 66-37. Manly over United 64-51. And the Heat beat the Sparks 57-44. So that wraps up our coverage of the Premier League here on Bar TV tonight for round 1. Come back next week, round 2. Can't guarantee that Kate Eddy will be here. Hopefully we'll have someone else amazing on the comments as well. But enjoy your week and enjoy the week of netball. Super netball again on the weekends. New South Wales Waratahs playing this weekend. Keep up to date on the Netball New South Wales page and go the Swifts, huh?
Yes. Thanks for having me. Thank you.